You guys are my friends, right?
Hey, look, it's a little dead meme.
Do you know I just learned? Chris,
What?
were you here? I don't know. Maybe you weren't here, but I just learned yesterday or whenever the last time we were together recording that "And I Will Love You" or whatever is a cover. Whitney Houston. That's a cover and not an original song. I just learned
Yeah,
that.
Dolly Parton's.
I had no fucking idea. I thought
Did you
Dolly,
not know that, Chris?
That makes sense. I could see that. That makes sense. That's like a lot. That's like "Twist and Shout" by the Beatles and stuff like that. Where it's like, why would you know the original? Really, like Dolly Parton. I feel like is one of those people who's like theoretically famous in the sense that I feel like everybody knows who she is, but I feel like the majority of people who know who she is haven't heard a single fucking thing from her.
The thing is that she's famous from the generation like before us. Like our parents know who Dolly Parton is.
Yeah, our parents know who Dolly Parton is, so we know who Dolly Parton is, but
Yeah.
we don't engage with Dolly Parton really. in the
Absolutely
same
correct.
Way that we would-
100%.
yeah. Like
Okay,
we
so
all know
may-
Jolene.
maybe
I think
it's
but-
more. Maybe it's not as crazy. Maybe there are a lot of people in my position.
Yeah,
that
the
are
only
like-
reason, genuinely, the only reason I know that is because I think I went down a rabbit hole once of like there was like a top. There was just like some top 10 list. It wasn't like a Watch Mojo thing. This was like before Watch Mojo. It was like maybe like 2011 or something, and it was like songs you didn't know were you know what I mean? And it's like, oh,
yeah.
interesting, because I was like always curious about that stuff, and I think I just sort of knew that in the back of my head, even though I never thought about it. But you'd
That
have
makes
no
sense.
reason to know that, really.
I only know that
insane.
because I only know that because I'm a fan of hers. That's why.
I would have went
Dolly
my
Parton,
whole
you have a
life.
big Dolly Parton poster in your
No,
room?
Whitney.
Yeah, but see, that's the
big fan of
thing.
Whitney,
Like,
so that's why I know about it.
it's the when. How did you find? Like, did she give a shout out to Dolly Parton at some? It's like, oh,
Well,
my nigga, this is my
the-
nigga Dolly Parton song, nigga, and then she
No,
started
when she
spitting
first
bars.
sang it, when it first became a really big. I've also watched like her documentaries and stuff like that, her biopics.
Oh, well, that
And
would.
it
yeah.
admits that it's hers, but there was like this. We're gonna wait. I'm gonna make sure 100% because I know it's her. I'm pretty sure it's her
What
song.
movie
I
is
know
that
I know the
song
song
in?
isn't hers, but it could not be Dolly Parton's as well. So let me be 100%.
No, I looked it up. You were right when you brought it up. I
he
looked it
doing?
up and I was like shocked.
What are you researching?
You're confirming it or
No,
something?
yeah, I'm right because part of my brain was
Yeah,
like,
I was
it
just
could
telling you
not
you
be
were
Dolly
right.
Parton's, but it is. It's her song 100%. And I remember hearing that, and I was just like, "Oh, really?" But I always, obviously, I heard Whitney sing it first, and Whitney sang it much better than Dolly did.
yeah.
Unfortunately, no disrespect to
like-
Dolly Parton as a
yeah,
singer. She's a
that's-
great
I mean,
singer, actually. But it's like,
It's like what was that Tears for Fears song that everybody
Shout? Wait.
No, oh my, Mad World.
Oh,
Like when
yeah.
Mad World
yeah.
was
And then,
popping because
Gary-
of Years of War.
Gary Balls. I'm sorry,
Gary
Gary
Balls.
Jules.
Tears for Fears made that song?
Tears for Fears wrote Mad World, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and it's not. It sucks. I don't like that version.
Oh, I like.
I don't
it.
like. I don't like you. I don't like it.
I like all. I like Tears for Fears though in general.
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
it's a very
I'm
different
okay.
vibe though. Like the thing with Gary Jules is like Gary Jules, unfortunately, like that's a good version of the song, but it's kind of that trope of, you know how like modern movie trailers will like take like a pop song and they'll make it like slow and sad.
Yeah.
Like it is kind of the first time that because Mad World isn't really like it's supposed to be one of those like pumped up kicks kind of songs where it's like, oh, it's sad, but like it doesn't sound sad. Like it's a juxtaposition kind of deal going on.
Right. Yeah.
But
right.
Is Mad
Gary-
World not a sad sounding song to you?
not the
really.
original.
Not
the original.
the original.
Oh,
Absolutely
not the original. Okay, gotcha. I was like, that song sounds hella depressing.
The
Well, yeah.
words are, but it's again, it's like a pumped up kicks thing where it's like, I'm in a school shooting, oh what fun, yay yay, or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
I think
don't know what
the
that
best
song was.
example of that is Third Eye Blind with that do 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 do.
Oh, yeah,
do,
yeah.
do. It's just like about like doing drugs or some shit, and it's
Ooh,
like
ooh,
it's
this is
like
gonna be the best day
happiest
of
fucking
that
song,
song?
ever. And then like this
That
nigga's like
song's about doing drugs?
Yeah.
like, I
And-
want
way.
something else to get me through this. Yeah, like it's about I think
It's
doing heroin or
100%
some
about
shit.
drugs.
Yeah.
And there's that other song, that Vanessa Carlton song.
I like that you're just learning this. This is great.
You're kidding, right? That's what doing
No,
drugs
that's
for
why
real?
it's such a, like, when you talk about a juxtaposition like that, it's like the perfect example of, like, how the fuck is this song so dark but sounds so damn happy?
I know that song so well. No way.
That's why it sounds happy. Like,
right.
It's supposed to be like, oh, I'm fucked up, bro. Like, that's
good.
The point.
It's a good like. I was like, this is genius. This is absolutely genius.
That's great. Hearing Tears. Have you seen the thing with Tears for Fears when they were like they did Rule the World, but as like now, like in 2022 or 21?
No, but I saw them.
it?
I saw them live with Gabby like a couple it's not a couple years ago now. It's like 7 years ago now. Jesus Christ. But and they were playing with Hall & Oates, and that was a good show. So like, I don't know. Are they still
sing.
They're still playing, right?
They can still sing. They'd have to be almost in their 60s now.
They got to be like older than that. I imagine.
Yeah, maybe
they're
late
probably like
60s,
late
early
70s. I would imagine late
It's
60s,
insane.
if not early 70s. Although maybe like my perception of how old they are is like really wrong. Like I don't know.
Because my heart still sees them as young.
But how old is Tears? And then how old is Fears?
How old is
There's two of them. You're right.
Tears for Fears age? Like
Ages.
what? Like I don't know.
I said I put Tears for Fears gauges.
Gauge? AIDS?
But I don't
G.
care. I don't care. This is too long of a list of things to look at. I don't know their individual names, so I have to put
They're
Tears for Fears
56. One's 56,
Shout.
and they're both 56 years old.
Wow.
Really?
Let it all
Wow,
out.
how old were they when
They're
they
the
were
same
than I
age.
thought.
That means they were like teen stars.
They were
basically.
fucking really young when they blew up.
They were really teens. They were very teens when they started then.
That's
You know how I found out
fucking
about Tears for
crazy.
Fears? Fucking Disturbed of all fucking bands.
Oh yeah.
They fucking they covered Shout and they called it Shout 2000, and I, of course, as a fucking 12-year-old or whatever the fuck, didn't know Tears for Fears. And I was
of
like,
course
this
not.
song is very different from what Disturbed has been sounding like. And then somebody told me, well, yeah, it's a cover, you dumb fucking retarded kid. I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
that's a
enough,
reasonable
Do you
reaction
think
to that.
Disturbed looks back at their music and is like, oh, fuck, dude?
I imagine I like that as a question. I would love an interview and be like, hey,
Like, oh,
do you guys
fuck,
do you
dude.
hate yourself for making Down with the Sickness? Do you,
Like, do you know how many probably autistic kids listen to your song and define themselves by the idiotic music you made? And they're probably like, please stop. And like,
he doesn't, because they don't do any of that shit anymore.
So what,
they don't,
what you're
they don't do
what
any
you're
of that dumb
asking?
you
What
guys
you're
are my
asking?
friends, right?
shit. That's so funny. I love that video so much.
You showed us that video at the house, and I could not stop laughing.
It's so funny.
Is that Disturbed Shreds or
the
Creed
Disturbed
Shreds?
Shreds? You guys are my friends, right? And like embracing the fucking chick. So funny.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Do yourselves a favor and look up Disturbed Shreds. It's
Bro,
I
that
wonder.
is-
Are they still making those Shreds videos? Like those Shreds.
I
Videos?
don't think so.
No, it kind of fell off, and I think
That's a
actually
shame.
it would be a great comeback. It's
would
been
be.
long enough to where, yeah, I agree.
So
You
what
can
you're
shred
asking,
the fuck out of some
by
modern
the way.
songs, man.
So what you're asking, by the way, is when you ask, do you think about what's his name, David
David Draymond?
Draymond?
Yeah.
David Draymond, does he look back and feel personal responsibility over his audience and how they interacted with his content? Is that what you're asking?
5-star fucking
Is that
transition.
is that what you're asking?
That is absolutely.
Transition.
That is absolutely what I'm
Tran-
asking.
Put an equals 3 equals 3 like cube transition here.
I want him on the podcast so bad, bro.
Ray William Johnson will never.
I want to talk to him.
He lives in a subterranean tunnel system. Like I don't know.
He works for
where
Facebook.
I don't think he talks to anybody.
He works for Facebook, I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean he works for Facebook?
so now
You
he-
mean
so that means
posts
he's
on
like-
Facebook.
No, like he works for the Facebook company, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, like some
he's
type
just
of
a
representative or some shit.
I think so.
That is so fucking bizarre. That is.
If somebody can get a hold of him,
Bro, I love how much he said the N-word in 2010, bro. I loved it. It was amazing.
you think he has any? You think he's ever reflected and feels like personally responsible for all the N-words he's
No.
dropped?
I mean, is this a word? He wasn't using it derogatorily. He wasn't using it to describe anybody. He was just adding. He was using a flavor button. The flavor N word. You know, that one is fine.
The sentence enhancer.
The sentence enhancers.
Yeah, the flavor,
I love
the
that.
flavor
I
enhancer.
love that.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
We got to talk about the elephant in the room. If any of you that are listening right now are on Twitter, you probably caught maybe a little bit of some discourse, the discourse
Does she have me
or
blocked?
fallout that has been going on with iDubbbz, his apology video, where he was kind of like trying to atone for his, his sins or what he believes that like he's really done some big damage on the internet. And so the conversations have been going wild, where I participated in one thread of something where Ninja got involved in Ludwig and this guy Willie Mack and shit. It was just because it won't stop, but
Yeah.
it reached a fever pitch, at least for you, Chris, when Francesca Ramsey, like fucking like what's that asshole's name that does the RKO out of
Randy
nowhere?
Orton?
Randy Orton, literally.
He's
just-
on the floor, bro. He's on. You're like, I got him. He gets you. The Viper, bro.
It was cool. Who has thought about Francesca Ramsey in? I probably 2017 is the last time I've legitimately thought about her.
actually.
Yeah, it's
nearing
like-
10 years.
It's so crazy. So she's still seething. And here's the thing: I need to preference this before you take the floor.
Sure.
She's seething. She has this manufactured outrage because how this whole thing started. She said that you guys expect us to accept your apology and just move on. And remember, this whole thing started because of iDubbbz's video. In that video, he says, "I'm apologizing, but this is nowhere near enough. Like this is just the beginning of my, quote unquote atonement, I guess." No, I wouldn't say quote unquote. I'm paraphrasing. But like, if she watched the video, she would understand that. But she is coming from an angle where she said she's like furious because people are expecting that. And I'm like, bro, that was never any of the discussion. That was never any discourse where people were like, okay, sorry, bro, bye. You need to be cool with me now. And then she all of a sudden started name dropping your ass. And now tell us about your fucking experience, because I didn't catch all of it. I only caught a little bit of it.
Dude, it was insane. I couldn't believe it because look, I understand the nature of the internet and fandoms, and I have no fucking doubt that people watched my video, right, and just ran over to her account and fucking started spamming bullshit and harassment. I hate that shit, right? Like, no one, that's really fucking stupid behavior. By the way, that extends to this. If you're listening to this is us just talking about stuff. You don't got to go and be a warrior for us. We don't need help, okay?
Yeah.
So don't harass anybody. But that's just the nature of talking. That's just, honestly, it is just the nature of talking about shit. Like when she dropped all this random shit out of nowhere, I got people in my DMs literally saying like, "Oh, I hope your family's still alive." Wink, wink. And it's like, what the fuck is this? This is so fucking unhinged. But the difference is I don't blame Francesca. I don't think Francesca Ramsey is intentionally like raising an audience to go send death threats my way. I understand that these are fucking unhinged individuals who don't know, who are fucking parasocial and fucking weird, and that's just the nature of it.
Right.
But if the conversation was, "Hey, I've not gotten an apology for some of the harassment that I got as a result of these videos," right? That would be one thing, because that's something that I would genuinely be like, "Oh yeah, you know what? That's really shitty. I'm sorry that happened to you. I didn't intend for that to happen, but it's the nature of things. There's a lot of unforeseen consequences all the time, and I feel bad about that. Nobody deserves that. That's really shitty." But instead of doing that, it was like, "Hey, that was the beginning, and then it was just a stream of genuine lies." The likes of which that I actually fucking couldn't believe. Like, I was actually bewildered in the sense that, like, I genuinely thought better of her, or at least, like, I held her up to, like, at least a basic standard of not projecting herself into situations that had nothing to do with her. Because I had a really popular music video a long time ago like about 7 years now. It's fucking or like something like that, some crazy long time ago. Called "Ain't No Rest for the Triggered," and in that video, there is a cartoon character that is it's just a generalized cartoon character, right? It happens to be a black woman with locks. I don't know if she understands my background at all, but I know many, like, I don't know, like I have aunts who look like that. So like the idea that it's like a very specific caricature is hilarious, but she was like, that's me in the video. And I'm like, what? I remember like reading that and I was like, is it? Like, because I had to go double check and I'm like, no, I didn't think so. Because the entire section of the cartoon that she thinks is hers or about her, she literally says like, oh, in this video, he claims that my character has a Patreon and got Chris fired. I never did any of that. And I'm like, yeah, because that's not you.
But it's not
like,
you.
it was such a weird thing where it's like the very facts that you are addressing are the things that disprove your assumption. Like, this is not you even slightly. That whole story was about Donglegate, which is like an ancient story at this point. And so, do you remember that?
The name, but I don't remember what it was about.
It was literally nothing. It was literally just like two guys made like a dick joke about like dongles at a conference, and then they got fired over Twitter. It was like, this is like ancient shit. And she was like, that's me. And then she said like, this video, by the way, and the video is about a guy getting fired over a joke tweet that he didn't think anything about. And then she assumes like, hey, by the way, the tweet that is referenced in the video is this one. And it's just it's a tweet of mine that says something about like Martin Luther King spinning in his grave by the current racial tensions, which is not, I don't know, it's not offensive also, I don't think. But also, It's not, that tweet was posted a year after the video. So it's like, I was honestly baffled by like the ineptitude, and it really spoke to something, right? Where it's like, and I really don't want people to go over to Francesca, right? I don't want you guys fucking going over there, but I do believe this is true. I think the sheer ineptitude of that argument and the fact that she posted screenshots in her own tweets that are impossible, like in the tweet. Like, in the same screenshot, it's like, this video 2016, this tweet's 2017, this video's inspired by this tweet. The fact that she posted that and she didn't proofread it, she didn't second guess it, is a really big indication of how shitty her 2017 content was. And the fact that it hasn't improved is astounding. The reason why we made fun of that stuff is because it was as stupid as this is.
I agree.
Like if you had like like an argument, or at least like if you put it together in a way that made sense, no one would have come to you as if you were cannon fodder. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the idea that like, and look, and I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, Chris is like denying that the pipeline exists." I know the pipeline exists. A million people have told me like they either like fell down the pipeline starting with me or like fallen out of it because of me. I am aware that exists. But I also don't like this current conversation that's happening as if people don't also have agency, as if people don't make their own decisions.
I agree.
Like,
I agree. People take any excuse to blame other people than themselves. You know,
right?
Dude, if you become a bigot, that's your choice. You know.
Well, it's not necessarily. It's not 100%.
Let him cook.
It's not 100% your choice. What I'm saying is like, I don't bear the entirety of that responsibility. Are you fucking kidding? That's, to me, it's like Doom did Columbine all over again. You understand? Like, where it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, do you really think that is id Software responsible for Columbine? Like, should they like make a public apology because the kids who did Columbine fucking happened to play a lot of Doom and be a fan of Doom and plan the shooting out in Doom? By the way, that did happen, but everybody understands. No, I'm cooking. Let me cook. All right.
I agree with you.
We understand that all media has a butterfly effect. I am absolutely certain that my videos led people to fucking think stupid shit. I don't think I'm responsible for that, though. I don't think I hold the keys to your lives in the same way that I don't think in the same way that I kind of think about if I choose to go outside today and I choose to drive and I choose to take up a space in traffic that displaces the entire row behind me, if somebody behind me gets in an accident as a result of me simply going out, is that am I I don't think it tracks. And it's fucking crazy. And we understand this when it comes to music, television, movies, video games. We understand that, yeah, there's a probably non-zero chance that if a kid plays a violent video game, he might be negatively affected, almost objectively speaking, right? But the percentage of those people is so minuscule in comparison to the overwhelming amount of people who are affected who end up doing nothing that we accept that that's a possibility. And the developers aren't sitting there guilting over it. I don't know what people want from me, quite frankly, because I was aware that the pipeline existed. I saw the people that were showing up in my recommended, fucking people like Black Pigeon Speaks, and I'm like, who the fuck is this freak? Right? And I remember being like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And I remember specifically making a distinct choice to shift focus and content. I specifically made a choice to stop the musicals because people kept fucking misrepresenting it or twisting it, and like I didn't want to fucking do anything. I didn't want to deal with that shit. 5 years old, a lot of this shit is. So if the goal is to, hey, Chris, you shouldn't make that content. Cool. I agree. That's why I haven't for 5 fucking years. What's your point? Like, do you want me to grovel? I'm not going to grovel. Like, I don't get it.
Some people
like,
do. Some people
these people want these people want the apology more than they want the function of the apology. And that bothers the shit out of me. Like, get fucked. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sad that you got harassed. That's really shitty. I don't support that.
Right. Remember, and I think this is really important to remember. There's a lot of people that still exist out there that don't care. Say, for example, somebody was a white supremacist, and then they renounced all that stuff, and they're like, I don't do any of that shit anymore. That was a dark chapter in my life. I'm fucked. Whatever. I'm trying my best to be, an upstanding citizen and contribute to my blah blah blah. There's a lot of people out there that are angry at you, Chris, that would never accept that person. That because they went down that one. They went down that one. My point being is that to some people, and the ones that are particularly angry, there is no path to redemption. And I know this is true because I tell people all the time that I've always kept a spectrum of content creators in my subscriptions who I would listen to because it's important to get differing points of view and to really discover what's really happening. Somebody who I've name dropped a lot of time that a lot of people don't like is Dusty Smith. A lot of people don't like him because of how fucking hostile he was. I still watch him. I listen to his podcast, his live streams. He actually talked about you in his last show and about this situation. Really? Some of the people in his chat actually were pushing back a little bit, and he didn't even finish because he got really pissed off. But he even said at one point that, I don't remember who it was specifically, but somebody was mentioned Dusty favorably on one of their live streams or something. And somebody that was a guest was like, well, I don't really like this guy because back in the day, I heard he used to be a conservative. And it's like, what the fuck does that matter? This guy's like trying his best to like be a positive beacon and actually help like promote in a non-toxic way like he used to back in the day. Where he seems he's trying his best to be way better. His take on you was pretty toxic where he doesn't know you or anything that you represent. He just kind of thinks I think he thinks that you're like, he feels like you're making the same shit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we used to go at it a lot. I remember making fun of him a lot. This is all ancient. By the way, this is all such ancient stuff that like, I'm almost like, I don't care. Like if there was ever a grudge that I held against these people, I sincerely forgot it. I don't really, I don't think about Dusty at all. I'm sure he's fine. Like, because I think like when you exist on the internet, you understand, and especially when you meet people from the internet in person, you, thanks to like VidCons and all that stuff, you begin to realize that like Twitter is not a real place, even slightly. And it's not really all that representative of anything. In fact, it's primarily a misinformation site. I would argue, on some
Especially
level.
now.
And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really tuned into any of the takes that people have had, but I just remember I don't like the idea that somebody can, because even by most of these people's admission, like they'll be like, well, Chris wasn't saying anything necessarily, but his content was in people, it was adjacent to people who were. And so it's like, well, even by your admission, the things that I'm saying aren't making you racist. Like, I'm sorry that you decided to go in this weird direction, but there's a lot of people who watch me who didn't go in that direction. So what does that like? I don't like. What does that say?
This is all dumb. This is stupid.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I'm willing.
I'm listening to this, and I'm just this is so maddening.
But people are like, why don't you take responsibility? It's like, I take responsibility for a certain aspect of it, which is why, like, I changed the content. That's the point.
Want you to, people
like,
want an apology,
that is
right?
what,
people,
right.
People think they're deserved an apology, right? What happens is this, right? When you notice what you're creating, like Ian, literally, when he finally noticed what he was creating toxicity around the world, he changed it. He does not have to come to the world and be like, everyone, I bear my soul witness and I beg forgiveness for what I've done. You're not racist, Chris. Your content wasn't bigoted. It was insulting the political party that you also were a part of. That is it. People may have seen that and wanted to draw conclusions based on what they wanted to see and hear, but that is not anyone's fault.
Yeah,
that is
I
not
like...
not to mention when you time and time again be like, yeah, I'm a left-leaning person. I consider myself a lot of liberal views, and then people still choose to go down the conservative route.
Well,
like,
you know what it is? It's
because
you know what it is. I really think it's a matter.
Like, what do you do? How do you fix that?
Well, you know what I really think it is? I think it's a matter of there were a lot of people who, like, were also saying that same thing and didn't mean it. And so, like for example, like, people like Sargon, right, would say the same thing, right? It would be like, oh, I'm a classical liberal or whatever. And he's not a fucking leftist at all. Like, that dude's a fucking he joined, like, the UKIP party or something. He's not even slightly, like, it's crazy to even imagine. Yeah. But, you know, there was a time where, like, he was saying that as well, and everybody was kind of like, because I actually meant it, I feel like a lot of people just like, oh, well, that's an easy way to fucking deflect criticism if I say that.
That's so fucking
and it's like,
stupid.
Well, that sucks. But I was serious. Like, even when I was, like, making fun of like specific, like, Black Lives Matter protests and stuff like that. Like, I remember being like, listen, this is not the organization. All right, these are individuals, and we will treat them as individuals because these individuals are stupid. I remember when there were, like, these 4 activists who kidnapped that oh my god, listen,
mentally challenged kid, right?
The mentally challenged guy. Do you remember that when they beat him up for like 24 hours? That was, I mean, is it a right-wing opinion to think that that's insane? I don't think so. Is it a right-wing opinion to think that manspreading isn't a really serious thing that should be treated seriously? No. Is it right-wing to say that we shouldn't be doling the term Nazi out so frequently that it loses all meaning? I don't think so. Like, I don't think anything that I've ever said falls outside of a perspective that is entirely in line with shit that Carlin was saying. And that's kind of like, that's the point of frustration with me, where it's like, I understand, like, I look back at some content and I was like, yeah, I feel like I was maybe, like, too angry in this video, or maybe, like, I took things too seriously in this video, or maybe, like, I would word certain things differently. But overall, the things I'm talking about, I wouldn't change. And so in that sense, I can't apologize because I'm not actually sorry about those things. I feel weird about some of the ways that I addressed it, and, like, I don't know, there's some opinions that I think have, like, slightly shifted, but even the opinions that I've had that have slightly shifted have not left the overall, like, domain of the same kind of sphere. You know, Kingston, was there ever a fucking point in my life where I was like, yeah, I love the cops? I don't know.
This is the thing that makes it so funny, right? This is what makes it so funny, right? I've known you,
right,
since we were both 17 years old, right?
Yeah.
We're both almost 30-year-old men. You know, like, it's just, look, like, as much as and this is what the thing became, right? That era of YouTube, my biggest problem with that era of YouTube was the lack of conversation, right? First and foremost, conversation doesn't get clicks. Coming to a middle ground doesn't get you money. You know, that's why we never saw that. We never saw that. You know, where like that was the time where that political stuff was getting people bags, you know? So like people weren't being like, let's sit down, have a one-on-one conversation with each other, right? And I think that would have led to a better state of political spheres, but that's, you know, here nor there, because that's over with. That time is gone. We can't do that no more, right? These people now, instead of watching people's change and growth, they're holding on to old perceptions of you. One thing I've learned is that if people are going to hate you, they're going to hate you no matter what you do. They're just, no matter what you do.
Yeah, a friend of mine...
You literally decided to change your content. You literally were like, oh, I don't like that this shit is getting so gross that I'm going to leave this. And for the last like 3-4 years, you've only been talking about video games or just ridiculousness in your videos. Yeah. And now the political stuff is still
and by the way, like if I do talk about politics, I make a really distinct effort to point out, like, because I think that was like, I think it's a fair criticism that I didn't necessarily, in older videos, I would specifically make fun of things that I did like, but I wouldn't necessarily, outside of like Twitter and like some smaller videos that weren't like the big videos that everybody knows, I didn't necessarily say what I believed. I did leave it open to interpretation in some ways. And then, you know, after like ever since like 5 years ago, if I ever touch on a political topic, I make sure to say like, hey, by the way, this is how I feel, right?
Yeah.
I usually do it in the sense of a joke, because I think that's like, you know, nobody wants to hear what you fucking think, quite frankly. It's the main reason why I didn't do it back in the day, because it just gets in the way of the joke. But, you know, there are ways to do it. And I think, I don't know, to me, I think, because the era of the internet that we grew up in, especially the era of YouTube that I grew up in, was a very, very different era. It was like, and not in the sense that things were okay that aren't okay today. That's true, too, in some way. But I think the reason that I feel okay making the jokes that I made or poking the fun at the things that I poked fun at is because for some reason, and I admit this is naive, I assumed that people would just understand what I was talking about, like just through osmosis. Because when I was a kid, the only people watching my videos were people that I knew in real life. And that attitude kind of extended where it's like, I know what I mean. Like, and my friends know what I mean. So what the fuck do I care what like random strangers think I mean?
Let me. I want to piggyback on that.
That should kind of like, you know, people should just get it. Like when Sweeney and I made that like I hate the gays joke, the whole reason that joke exists is because the idea that we would say that is outrageous.
Yes, exactly.
Like that's what's funny about it. That's what's funny about it to us.
That's what's funny about the comedy we enjoy. Like the idea of someone saying something so insanely bigoted is funny because like who the fuck thinks like that? Like you're real?
Yeah,
you're a real person?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't understand dark humor. They don't.
Well, I understand that.
Or they choose not to. Or they choose not to. They choose not to.
They choose to take the words at face value instead of the actions. You know.
Well, they
still
don't
think
that
it's harmful no matter what. Even
and
they say in any context. I saw a guy, and I couldn't tell if he was joking or not when the whole Pink Floyd controversy happened with Dark Side of the Moon just recently.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And I saw somebody say like, "Oh, this isn't cool to do in any context." And I'm like, "Well, just because of Roger Waters, the way that he was behaving," and I'm like, "But that's the point. I don't know. Like, you can't get around it."
That is actually the equivalent of taking a clip of Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Bastards and saying like, "This is not okay in any context." Christoph Waltz is actually a Nazi. Like that's actually fucking insane.
I agree.
That Dark Side of the Moon shit is batshit insane.
It's nuts.
And by the way, it is batshit insane from every perspective. From a left-wing perspective, that is fucking crazy. Do you think Carlin would be like, "Oh man, yeah, that makes sense"? I feel like people forgot. I feel like people don't understand what left-wing means, because I saw a lot of people like I can't believe that I got this comment. This blew my fucking mind. They deleted the tweet, I think, because they were getting shit for it, rightfully so. But they were like, I remember arguing with Chris in a comment section about how Resident Evil 5 wasn't problematic. The idea that he's trying to convince people that he was ever left-wing is insane. The idea that... I don't even know where to begin with that. Let me explain something very simple to the people. And I doubt anybody who actually engages with this is watching, because as is clear as day, no one who actually is taking part in this conversation who is against me actually watches any of the stuff that we make. But
true.
Politics isn't when people are nice. Okay? Politics isn't when people are nice to you either. All right? Politics are what people stand for and what they believe and what they say. That is literally what politics is. You can't say that somebody isn't on your political side because they don't think Resident Evil 5 is racist. That is fucking insane, and you should stop going on the internet. I sincerely think that if you think these things, you should not have access to the internet. I don't think you're responsible enough. I don't think your brain is equipped to handle really anything. I really sincerely believe that.
There should be a test. There should be a test.
There should be a test. You should have a license.
I'd love
that. And by the way, this is exactly why I support
internet.
This is part of the reason why I support free healthcare, because I feel like, a lot of you need it. A lot of you need therapy, and I understand that you can't get it because it's fucking stupid expensive. What a horrible country we live in. I get it. I feel the same way. Hopefully, we can come together and get you the therapy that you need.
Yo, I can't agree more.
Can we be real for a moment? Can we for a moment be real and talk about how look, I told Chris this before and he thought I was insane for saying it. But the fact that you kill Africans in Resident Evil 5 is a little funny. I don't know why. There's no good reason why it's funny. There's no good reason why it's funny, but it is.
No, there is a reason. There actually is a reason. I'll explain the reason, and I gotta close this chapter amicably because there's a couple of points that we missed. But the reason why it's funny, it's literally like any other dark humor, because there is a small amount of people who actually think it's racist, who gets our mind thinking in a way that, well, this is kind of funny that Chris, this buff and white antagonist, is just blasting a bunch of black folk. It becomes funny in that context when literally the context is him. Like when Chris was in Spain blasting Spaniards,
Leon,
or like when you're in Ethan Winters is in Eastern Europe or something blasting some Slavic people or whatever the hell they are. It's the same thing geographically. They just live there and they happen to be black.
Murdering people. The idea of killing that many people and them being powerless against you is funny.
You kill
so black people and there's a word to call them. It becomes even funnier.
Can I say something? Can I say something as well? Just like it's
Yeah.
piggybacking off the same thing. It is hilarious to me that we can go generations. This is the 5th Resident Evil game. We can go 4 full games of mass murdering people. Mass murdering like villages in Spain, fucking shooting up a fucking house. Like all of these like, oh yeah, these mass murder simulations are awesome. And then the second it's in Africa, it's like, oh, this is the problem.
This is.
It's like I love that idea where it's like it's all fine until it's there. It's like
problem.
Whoa,
but look, like don't you feel
that's a huge problem. Sorry to interrupt you, Derek. As a black person, that is a huge problem, right? And what happens is that most of the time the people that are complaining about this don't look like me or Derek.
Oh no!
Most of the time the people that are complaining about this don't look like us.
Absolutely. I don't know any of my brothers. None of my brothers were like, "Oh man, I can't believe I'm in Africa." No, we're all like, "Oh man, Sheva's fucking bomb."
Exactly. Like, Josh is cool. I like seeing Josh suplex zombies. Or dang, Chris is strong as fuck. That's what we were thinking. But what happens is this, right? These are the problems that. This is why you guys made fun of those groups, right? This all again boils back into like you're complaining about this. Meanwhile, there's so much systemic bullshit that still exists that you guys want to do all these left-leaning fixing things. Let's start properly aiming towards these things that are really problematic.
Yes.
Why are we mad?
Yo, dude,
Why are we
right
mad
there.
about this video game when there is an abnormally high prison rate of black people for no reason, or we're getting over policed,
Bro,
Yeah, or how about like, hey, isn't it interesting that the price of housing has skyrocketed it like completely disproportionately from the way that people have earned?
Yeah.
Like, no, but
I
all
agree.
of
I agree with you.
all of these things are really fucking serious and matter to everybody, even if they don't think it does. It affects you 1,000,000%. All of these things affect you. The prison system, even if you're not arrested. Affects
I
you.
agree, right? I agree with you, Chris. But what happens is this, right? These are people complaining about racism, complaining about racism within this game, right? There are so many social problems race-wise that exist. There are so many institutional problems that racism exists, and there's a ton of systemic problems that need more attention than this game where you just if we were in Africa and we were shooting white people, that'd be a problem too. It'd be a problem no matter what you put there. If you put a bunch of Dutch people there, they'd be like, look at all the Dutch people that came and colonialized, and now there's no black representation in this game in Africa. Did
you see what just happened recently with that game where you're an Aztec dude stealthily taking out conquistadors? And did you see the response in the replies to these whiny freaking these Western imperialist like cucks that are just like, why do you? I couldn't believe it. But this
are you serious?
Yes,
no, listen,
they made an issue out of it.
This is precisely why I feel so strongly about this. Where it's like the way that I always saw political correctness wasn't necessarily like the left. It's a left wing thing. I think political correctness is people being offended by shit that really doesn't matter. And I understand that that's a broad interpretation. Like, everybody has their own interpretation of that. But, like, when I see Cammy in Street Fighter 6 or whatever in her fucking classic outfit and it's hot as hell, and people complain about it, where it's like, I saw an article that was like, man,
they brought it back.
They shouldn't have put this in. It's like, shut up. Like, this is not important at all. And then in the same vein, when I see people complaining about this Aztec game, or like, oh, there's a BLM pin on fucking Miles Morales' backpack. Shut the fuck up. Is the movie good? Is the game good? Yes? Okay. Shut the fuck up. Like, there is a level of just genuine oversensitivity across the fucking board. And it's frustrating because I understand that this has been warped for some reason into a right-wing talking point, even though people like Carlin were saying this fucking ages ago and the right hated him for it. These are the exact types of people who they're so unserious. You cannot value their opinion. Anybody complaining about a BLM pin on a character's backpack who is black, who lives in the modern era, is just a fucking moron. Anybody complaining about gender-neutral bathrooms on the fucking Dead Space spaceship is a fucking moron. Anybody like looking into The Legend of Zelda and being like, every fucking power that Link gets is a way to fucking promote the gay agenda. These are real takes,
bro.
By the way.
That
He's
shit
a
was
fucking
awesome.
idiot.
That shit was
like,
awesome.
I'm sorry, but these are
shit had me rolling.
These are
awesome.
the same. These are the same
They are the same.
people. These are the same type. It's the same type of people. I don't think it's the same scale of like evil and just stupidity, but it's the same level of emotional immaturity and unseriousness. I don't value
Chris,
any of these people.
Chris, you sound like you're being very consistent about being
right.
highly, supremely annoyed about this dumb shit that does not matter. And I feel like there's so many people, including Francesco Ramsey, just going back to that they did not understand why these people propped up in the first place. And they just, since a lot of it was coming from the left, and I always like to preference, because I did say it's not just the left, it's not just progressives, it's specifically progressive ideologues. These people who are ideological zealots that were just really, just putting their fingers and sipping them into everything that they were a part of. And I've said this, I want to make this so clear. I'm somebody who, and you guys too, probably you ingest so much gaming media. There was the magazines, and then when it went online, you went on the websites, and there was just consistent, like, whatever you fucking went on, Kotaku, Polygon, some people did Rock, Paper, Shotgun. My favorite was Games Radar, because they never changed. They're just like, we're going to talk about games. And I was like, cool. Here's the thing. you saw when they started introducing their own politics into articles, and it's like, what the fuck am I reading, bro?
Yeah,
and
by the way, it
then
happens. It happens on the right now too, where it's just like it's
absolutely.
so fucking. Dude, the fucking
They're doing
the
it now.
response to that Aztec game is hilarious. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, you guys are fucking.
It's so fucking stupid. Hold on.
Let me reiterate. Let me come from a different point, right? Politics, social politics are fine, right? But what happens is, don't force them down the throats in a medium that is sort of neutral of that, you know? Like I liked reading some of the articles, right? And it's finding out like, okay, there's this particular thing, and it's a weird place to see a lot of people taking social stands, like while you're playing like fucking Max Payne 3 or some shit like that, and there's like this weird political stance. It's like, all right, I understand why you might say that, but also shut up.
Yeah,
And
there's a time.
the game.
There's a
really
time.
game.
There's a time and a place for everything. There is apolitical reviews that people are looking for about the ins and outs of the game. Hey, I was just actually, when I was shopping for a new graphics card, I was just looking at all the different GPUs that are available right now, and I'm watching a video. It's about a 30-minute review of the the 4070 like Ti that people are just absolutely trashing. Imagine if that guy just started talking about like, oh, I don't know, slave labor and all the mineral. I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? I would be like, what is happening right now? Like white slavery or some shit. Like,
did you
slavery,
know that
but like.
Did you know that AMD is like, aside from the fact that this graphics card sucks, they're also woke. And it's
Like, yeah, I would be like, what the fuck is happening?
up.
And we saw that happen, and I want to say this because people will talk about personal responsibility and all this shit. And I wonder if any of those people that are complaining about that stuff right now, have they had any reflection on themselves when it comes to, number one, hostility? Because there is some stuff, there are some things that Francesca Ramsey would talk about in her videos that were valid points, but it was always with this overtone of hostility that nobody wants to fucking listen to other than other hostile people breeding hostile environments. And here's the thing, I fucking hated, and this is the biggest pushback that I was doing during that era, that I'm like, we know that these basement dwelling weirdo white folks that are all like, oh, I'm an incel and all this shit, they've always existed, but they were underground. When you keep beating the drum that these people are so shitty, and then you give rise to pieces of shit like fucking Richard Spencer and Nicholas Fuentes, who have always been in the gutter, but now they have a reason to latch on to these people and say, I'm your savior. You guys are actually persecuted. You guys are actually victims. When they're fucking not. But they convince them that they're, hold on. Yeah, but you're right. They push them to fucking join these stupid cults. And I'm like, guys, stop doing this. This is leading, like, we saw where this was leading, and I wonder if any of those people had any reflection at all of how, because, like, remember, anti is always a response to something that already existed. So when you talk about fascism, and then there was anti-fascists, right? When you talk about SJWs and there's anti-SJWs, there's this dumb fucking movement of shit that was happening, and then people were like, hey, this is stupid. You guys are, to your point, Sweeney, when you're talking about, there's real injustice, there's real systemic racism, there's real problems. When I would talk about Black Lives Matter and feminism, I would always point out, wrapping up in a nice neat bow, what is the point of my video? There's some real fucking issues that actually pains my heart. There are people that are suffering all over the fucking world. There's people suffering in this country right now, and you're talking about spaghetti straps, manspreading. You're talking about the Black Lives Matter organizations are keeping all the fucking money, becoming really rich, not helping. They didn't help in fucking New Orleans when there was another fucking flood. I'm like, fuck this shit. They're not actually doing anything. I would talk about real shit, and unfortunately, some racist pieces of shit, some goons would watch these videos and not listen to my points and just be like, yeah, fuck black people. And I'm like, well, fuck, man. I feel like I'm just you know what I mean?
It's like when I would talk
to a wall.
Yeah. It's like when I would talk about like specifically like these like weird instances of like this scantily clad woman in a video game is sexism, and I would make fun of that because it's just not really. It's just kind of, it's just art, and it's like an expression of like, dude, there's so much art for like the entirety of human existence has been like incredibly like
sexualized. It's the nature.
And so like
sex sells more than anything.
Sex sells more than anything.
Food.
And yeah, and and I remember I would talk about it, and then there would be people like, oh well, yeah, fucking misogyny is not real. And it's like, what?
Yeah, they take it to the next
level. How did you get here?
It's so weird.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
The idea isn't that misogyny isn't real. It's the message is the opposite. The message is sexism and misogyny are real, and so we shouldn't fucking dilute these terms with such meaningless shit.
Dude,
I don't know,
was
man.
on
I
Twitter.
really do think on some level people do just see. I think a lot of content has
It's
the potential
trigger
to be
words, man.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, like, I think a lot of content has the potential to be basically a Rorschach test, and you will see what you want to see in some way, even though what you're looking at is a fucking ink blot. Like if I showed you an ink blot, right? Although in this case it's crazy because it's like if I showed you like a sentence that said sexism is serious, don't dilute the meaning, and then you looked at it, it was like, oh, it's not real. Like it's even crazier than that. But it's I don't know, man. I think the best way to grow as a person is to accept responsibility in the immediate, not to throw it somewhere else, because I think that that's really what a lot of this pipeline conversation is, and I respect that there is a pipeline. It's obviously real. Algorithms exist specifically
Absolutely.
to keep you engaged with content on platforms so they can get more ad revenue, and the best way to do that is to keep you engaged. The best way to keep you engaged is to get you angry and interacting and arguing and all that stuff. Like, I'm aware of that. And so for me, I have to take my responsibility in the immediate. I can't foist it. I do think YouTube's algorithm is like the main villain here in the sense that they never even bothered to moderate it because obviously it was working to their profit motive. But or not to profit motive because YouTube operates at a loss, but it was making the money, it was doing well for the site, so they left it alone even though they probably knew what was happening. I had no control over that algorithm, but I do have control over the content that I make. And so when I grew a little bit older, I decided to stop making that content. I decided to stop fucking giving these people ammunition to twist my words into things that I never fucking meant. And that's my responsibility, and I fixed that. And so when you say, oh, Chris, you put me down this road, that might be true, but it's still your fucking responsibility. In the same way that it's not, I can't foist my responsibility onto YouTube. Even if it is their fault, I fucking can't do that. I can't instate any meaningful change because I am not fucking YouTube. And so you got to look in the immediate. Right. I fell down this rabbit hole. Why? It's got to do with me, right? It's got to do with me.
What?
Because
What
there's a lot of
compelled
people
you
who
to
watch
wanna
my
go
show
down that route,
right? Because and to be fair, a lot of this is upbringing, a lot of this is parenting, a lot of this is like growing up in like the environment that you grow up in. In the same way that a million people can play,
I'm not gonna give them validation.
A million people can play Grand Theft Auto, and then one person will play Grand Theft Auto and be like, "I want to kill people." Like straight up, that's probably real.
That's true.
That is
That's
absolutely
true.
fucking true. And the reason is
some
because
people
their
are hardwired
environment,
wrong,
and
for
the
sure.
some people are hardwired weird, or their environment is fucked. So look at your environment and fucking make those changes, because I can't make those changes for you. What is blaming me do? What does me blaming the YouTube algorithm do? Fucking nothing. What I don't like about this conversation is a big game of guilty hot potato. It's like, oh, I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. Just fucking take your lumps.
Yeah,
you came away from a fucking YouTube video about people loosely associated with Black Lives Matter beating up a mentally challenged person with the opinion somehow that all black people are bad. And you have to think about why you thought that. And I bet that's a really fucking uncomfortable conversation to have with yourself. Right?
Yeah.
I bet that's really fucking uncomfortable. It was
This is my thing, right?
It was sort of uncomfortable. It was just sort of uncomfortable for me to think that I had like maybe played a role in bringing people down into weird places. So I can't imagine not even having I can't, as somebody who just never believed those things. Oh my God, I can't imagine how you must feel, the guilt that you got to feel. And you know what? Have fun. I really hope you improve. I really do. But this game of who's guilty hot potato, it's fucking annoying, because like the way that I think about it is like, oh, a kid beat up somebody at school, who's to blame? Oh, the bully. Well, it's like, what about the bully's parents? Oh, what about the bully's parents' parents? What about the bully's parents' parents? It's like it's everybody's fault, but it doesn't help to go that far back, because eventually you're just fucking blaming a piece of a fucking tadpole in the Mesozoic era for your fucking mistakes.
Let's
so
go.
fucking stop it in the immediate, where you have the most power to control it.
Look, dude, Chris, I respect. You're right? But at the same time, fuck all this. Like,
fuck it.
there's no. I can't validate people having truly bigoted views at all. Like, oh, it's upbringing. No, it's not. You're just stupid. You're just fucking dumb.
No, I do think it is. I do think it is upbringing because
Kingston,
do you believe that people are inherently evil? Like, I don't know if I believe
people are not inherently evil, right? But people we learn as creatures that we have this existential dread that people will fuck us over, so we have to fuck them over first. That is a thing we kind of believe until we befriend other people. And then we're like, all right, this person isn't that bad. I know I can trust this, like, these 8 people, right? But at the same time, it's like, how can you hate a group of people? Meanwhile, I know, like, there's no person on this planet that has only had bad associations with a group of people. Only.
Well, you don't have to do that. It's just indoctrination. I think a
Even
great
that,
scenario.
that's so stupid.
No, but see, look
Kingston,
at what happens a lot.
Kingston, we have that perspective because we grew up in an environment that was exposed to a lot
not
of
even
people.
that, dude.
But look at what usually happens. To your point, to your point, what you're saying, what usually happens, racist parents indoctrinate a kid. They become racist. They start meeting other groups of people, and then they start renouncing their racism, and then they end up being very angry at their parents for doing that. Now, look at this is kind of what people are trying to extrapolate to content creators like us, but what they really should be saying is like, okay, their parents were fucking edgy, maybe saying, in their home, jokes that to those people would be perceived as racist, but they're just jokes, just like edgy jokes, right? Where you're saying something that's like, oh, that's fucked up, and then this kid, because he found those jokes funny, somehow went down a pipeline to the alt-right. And look, would you blame that on the parents for having edgy, like just being like, say,
No,
Chris, you have exactly. That's what I'm saying. These people are trying to blame. They're trying to blame those parents. This is all hypothetical. For that kid finding fucking Richard Spencer or whatever, where the parents were not preaching Richard Spencer's rhetoric at all. Like, it's like, come on, guys.
I understand, right? I understand this, right? But what you're trying to say, I hear your words, but what happens is that I guess I have some basic level of like comprehension. I guess some people have more the ability to be able to comprehend the information they're being given, and some are just can't correctly.
Well, I think you just had a better environment. I think we all just had better environments. I don't think anybody's intrinsically racist. I don't think that's true. My father is not a very welcoming person to even I'm Hispanic. My dad is not a big fan of Latino people. My dad is also Hispanic as well, but he's black skinned. So unfortunately, he's had a particular situation around people that are fairer than him, and he's not a big fan of fair skinned people, right? I've heard that shit for all around throughout my life. I've heard about colorism throughout my life. I've heard about disrespect. I'm a black person that grew up around older black people. Derek can vouch for this. There's a ton of bigotry and homosexuality in our culture just simply because of the fact of all the shit we've been through, right?
Sure, yeah.
But since I was a kid, I was just like, that's crazy. But I don't know, man. This one white person, Tommy Oliver in Power Rangers, is really cool. They can't all be that bad. What if someone like Tommy Oliver exists? I want to be friends with.
That's how I felt as well.
Simple child's brain doing that. That is a kid.
That's you though. That's the thing. We can't extrapolate our experiences onto other people.
But I was an idiot. That's a dumbass kid's perspective.
But that was look at you. Your brain is not the same. Look, the ignorant masses is a thing, right?
I understand.
The people on average
masses
are. Look at. I was lucky. I was not taught to question what I was being, indoctrinated with, what they were trying to get me with. When I would be taken to church and stuff like this, for example, and when they told me these stories, instead of accepting it, I already kind of knew how reality worked to a certain extent. So I couldn't accept the stories. They tried. They wanted me. Yeah, my grandma, every time I talked to her, she still was trying to save me. My grandma's still trying to save me. She's 9 years old.
Hey, I
you know what I mean?
Insane.
I remember having the same experience going to church and being like, it was weird because I remember being like, I guess I believe it because I don't know any alternative explanation, but also like none of this feels right. Like this, this feels kind of like a cartoon. Like this doesn't feel real. Like at the same time, but I do think there is an element of. I don't think it's directly related in the same way. I don't think there's like one straight line, but I do think there are brains that are wired. Not necessarily that they have like that they have an easier proclivity to kind of fall in line or like maybe just sort of unquestioningly go through life as opposed to question things constantly. I do think that does exist there. I think that
the
leads
idea of
people
observation,
imagine if you're just kind of like if you just kind of accept everything. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, and that's how your brain works. And then you grow up in, I don't know, Manhattan. You're probably going to be fine, probably. You're probably going to get fucked over a bunch or whatever. But, like, I don't think you're going to come out of that situation, like, believing the same things as a person with that exact brain in, like, Mississippi. You know what I mean?
I understand
like,
that where you're born, what you're taught, all those things do affect you, right?
Absolutely.
Because I was born in a place, I was born in the Bronx, New York, dude. Everybody there was most people were either Hispanic like me or black like me, most, not everybody. There's a melting pot, but the vast majority of people had either skin color that was similar to mine or people related to me,
Yeah.
And I was able to deduce that people that were even different, people that were like Asian people, I met Asian people that looked nothing like me, and I was able to give my own perspective. Homosexuality now, when I was younger, throughout church, they tried, and they nearly full kid me, and then what happened is exposure. Simply, I encountered one gay person. Exactly. I spoke to them, and I was just like, "Oh, that's crazy."
But that's true for a lot of these basement. Why we always call them basement dwellers? They may not even have a fucking basement, but the idea is there that they are hermits. They don't go anywhere. They don't talk to anybody. They have no experience with women or what have
but
you.
Even online, the internet gives you so much information to broaden your horizon. It really does.
You need real peer-to-peer interaction. No, to really break this shit, you got to, because that's why these people all those white people that felt like they were being attacked, because the thing is, it really is a confession at the end of the day. If you feel attacked by these articles that were being spewed out, well, maybe you're one of these shitty cis white het motherfuckers that they're talking about, but not just general, because there's a lot of white people that were just like, shrug their shoulders, this is dumb. And then they didn't go running to fucking Richard Spencer or whatever, right? They were just like, the fuck is this? Like, well, what is this? And then there was the other person that's like, oh, I can't believe this. And then they found their brethren in 4chan, wherever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was different reactions. The person that felt lonely, that felt like they didn't have anything, didn't have any friends, and it's like maybe they were bullied, I don't fucking know. And then here's the answer. This guy that's pretending to give a shit about them, like what Andrew Tate's doing with everybody right now. This is the simple solution where it's like, but if you... Come on, guys. I want them to be smarter because it's like, look at Andrew Tate's life. Oh, he has these rich and shit, but he's in and out of fucking jail. Serious charges. He's not married. Like, the stuff that he's saying that you should be doing, he's not doing. Why the fuck would you listen to that guy? Why would you listen to any of these people? And like, I want them to be smarter. And going back around to our content, I expected our viewers to be smarter. To be able to watch our videos and then basically they come to the same conclusions that we fucking did. And then really at the end of the day, you and I were just trying to make people laugh. Like most of my content, not all of it, but most of my content I was trying to be funny. I was trying to do something, wanted people to laugh, trying to make things not as serious, even when it was a serious situation. But like I said, every once in a while, I made a content talking about a trans person, nothing about them at all. Used her correct pronouns, because I don't give a fuck. And then I saw a handful of comments like, why are you calling her she, bro? And I'm just like, fuck. Who the fuck are these people? I didn't influence them. I didn't say that's a dude. But they were there. I don't know who the fuck they were watching before. They made it to my channel.
That's insane.
And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck do I do with these people? You can tell them to piss off, but I don't know, man.
You gain the access to the internet. You gain pretty much the cosmic cube. The fucking Infinity Stone of Knowledge, and you decide to follow Andrew Tate. Imagine thinking Andrew Tate's a good. Imagine, like, even at 16 years old, right? I could have been a 16-year-old back when I was scrounging for pussy, when, like, I didn't think anybody in the world understood me. If I found Andrew Tate and I immediately saw any sort of sexual allegations involving him, I would be like, maybe this is not the dude, man. Maybe this is not the dude.
That's also
instantly, dude.
That's also there's also something about that as well, where like I feel largely the same way. Like I feel like because I really
I was angry. I was angry. I was a virgin. I was misunderstood.
No,
we
everybody,
all were.
like everybody. Yeah, but like the thing to me, right?
I was fine actually.
The thing to me is...
I was fine, actually. I'll be honest.
I was young.
Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
17, I hit my stride, but 16, I was
angry.
I'll be honest.
I was not an angsty teenager. I got lucky. Chris, what
I
were you saying?
wasn't angsty. I was upset because women didn't make sense,
Well,
and they still don't.
The thing about it is, I don't know. I feel like if I threw 16-year-old Chris into 2016, I don't think I don't know, man. I don't think he'd come out a racist. Like I don't think so. I'm sorry.
I don't think.
Like I understand that that's like it's a hypothetical and we can't prove that. That's fair. Like I know there's a lot of people who are like, if you threw me back in the fucking 1700s, I would have spoken up about slavery. It's like, okay.
No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't. You would have died. You would have died. You would have died. Like, I had a bunch of black friends. Like, somebody would have whipped me like that. I would have fucking was like, no, you wouldn't have. You would have got your foot chopped off or some shit.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? I do think a lot of people probably. I do think. I don't know, slavery is one of those things where it's like it does feel innately fucking evil, and I do feel like maybe a lot of people felt that way, but also was
They did, absolutely.
No.
This is how things are. Like, what do you do?
I argue a lot of people that questioned it after they questioned it because it's the way things go. You know, it's like right now in Asia, there's a lot of people that are given second class, like not treated as people.
Bro, dude, there are children
to make things for us, right?
There are children working for like nickels, building our iPhones right now, and it's like all of us feel kind of about it, but it's like
you're fine. You're fine about it. You're fine about it right now until you start thinking about it. When you start thinking about it,
I would never say fine.
A lot of people. A lot of things people don't think about exactly.
The point that I'm making is like I know it's kind of a facetious point where it's like, oh, you can't possibly prove that because there's no way to actually do that. It's like, all right, I'm not trying to sound holier than thou. I just really I think you gravitate towards things and you are naturally inclined to kind of tumble down ideologies that already fit with what you are kind of predisposed to believing. Not naturally, but by your environment. So, and what I mean by that is if you if you watch one of my videos and you're in Tennessee and your grandpappy is, yelling at those damn filthy N-words outside, woo! And then you watch my video and then you see fucking, I don't know, Black Pigeon Speaks in my recommended, you're going to click that and then you're going to keep going and you're going to keep going and you're probably going to be a piece of shit. But I also feel like, and the thing I relate most of this with is the atheist sphere of YouTube in like 2011, where I remember specifically, I always felt like when I was a fucking child, I remember feeling like something's not right about this. Like there's something really off about religion to me, like even as a fucking like a child. And so when I found atheist YouTube, I was like, oh my God, a group of people speaking to the things I already feel and on some and putting it in a way that I could articulate it and understand it. That was a really big deal for me, and I got sucked into it. And I was really into it, probably about as into it as a lot of these people were into my stuff or your stuff or shoe stuff. But the difference is the perspective that was being shared and the perspective that I was engaging with is a perspective that I had always had. I don't think you come away. I don't think you're sitting there 15 years old and you love everybody and you don't have a problem with black people and you just don't have a problem with gay people and you don't have a problem with trans people, and then you watch my video and then you go down a rabbit hole and you end up the opposite. I have a hard time believing that that's true. I'm sure it's probably true,
extreme anomaly,
but it feels so difficult to relate to me. And again, that's not denying the existence of the pipeline. Clearly, it's real. I'm aware of that.
Most people aren't that. Let's do it. Most people. Let's.
That's the thing.
Can we? Just and let's put a stamp on it right here.
Yeah.
We're talking about all this shit. Most people don't know who the fuck iDubbbz is. Most people don't know who the fuck we are to an extreme lesser extent. Most people this is online shit, dude. Go to your fucking grocery store and literally walk up to the first person. Hey, do you know who iDubbbz is? I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is that like a phone or something? Like, is that like, they're not going to know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right, yeah.
And I feel these people, and the egotistical thing was a thing that was thrown out. That are like, I think these people think they're way bigger than they actually are. They think they command so much more influence than they actually do. They think that their audience members, their fans, only watch them. and think that they don't watch a multitude of people. I'm like, what? Are all of a sudden is everybody being indoctrinated by everybody? How the fuck is that even possible?
Yeah, that's another thing about it too. Is that it feels really like maybe it isn't. Like I know that certain. I know absolutely iDubbbz had like a massive influence. Like I know that. Like I know.
On this sector of the internet, absolutely.
Well, on this
but
sector of the internet, which
is not the fucking world.
Right. But like I mean, it's still there is an element of narcissism there that I don't know if it's real narcissism or perceived narcissism. It feels narcissistic to assume that you have the influence to do all this stuff. Or at least that's what it feels like to me.
Can I say
and
this?
It definitely
without
feels narcissistic.
trying though.
Right,
you know what I mean.
But I also want to say it definitely also feels narcissistic to project yourself onto a video that had nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
it's because iCarly's not doing well, bro. Something's wrong with iCarly.
Yeah, iCarly.
She was like, "Fuck, all right, what's in the drop?"
You know what I think it is actually?
You know what I think actually? My nation.
It's your time to be.
Actually, unironically, I'm not even kidding. I think what it is because she writes for iCarly, so I think there's a writer's strike, so she just doesn't have anything to do but seethe, kind of. And I feel I hate that I have to fucking say this again. Don't go over there, okay? You're not helping me when you go over there, all right? You look like an asshole. Just leave it alone. The reason I'm talking about this is because I got dragged up into this, okay? I didn't fucking want to talk. I would have gone the rest of my whole goddamn life without talking about this person ever again, okay? And I plan to do that going forward, quite frankly. This is the last time I'll talk about any of this this fucking nonsense.
How fucked up is it that she was so fucking bothered by all the harassment, yet look what she fucking did. Imagine, look, and I'm gonna be real about this. I hated when the alt-right was fucking with me. Remember, I'm a black content creator. They did not like me at all. Especially when I was fucking talking shit about their rallies and all the dumb shit they were doing.
They kept calling me a secret Jew.
That's fucking awesome, bro.
They were like, I remember
seeing
comments that were like, he's from New York, and look at his nose.
Look at his nose.
You know what's funny? You know what was funny too? I remember people being like, he's funny. Weird. Like I remember people being like, because even they think that funny? Jews are funny. That's hysterical. That was hilarious to me. But I don't know, man. Go on.
That is so. I love that so much. I could see with them with their small brains coming to that conclusion. I never considered that, but you pointed that out. I'm like,
it reminds me of the It reminds me of the transvestigators, the people who are like this person, who think everybody's trans or whatever.
Yeah,
you know
totally. I love that.
Shit.
I love that. I made a. I don't know if you guys seen. I love the movie A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, and essentially, I want a remake of A Beautiful Mind because like it's based on a true story of this dude that's, he has schizophrenia and he thinks that he's being a part of a government project and stuff. He's seeing these things and he's like a mathematical genius.
Is crazy because there's moments that you find out that aren't real that are insane. And I'm like, what?
It's a great movie. I love the movie. But I want that, but modernized to transvestigators. I want there to be like somebody thinking like, I need you to find all the trans people who are pretending, that's actually, and the motherfuckers so like doing all these math equations and then just going to exclusively women, biological women, be like, that's trans, and have Russell Crowe come back, that's a trans.
Dude, there's so many.
Someone grabs him and takes him.
And like grabbing, where's your balls? Where's your balls? Like just trying to like.
So many. He starts patting down there. There's nothing. Where'd you go? Wherever my see. Knocks him out.
he's in the Maximus fucking armor too. He's just running around like single file, single cover, and then just saying all the lines. And I wanted just a fever. I'm gonna ask AI to do this. I think AI can do it because I've been seeing some pretty good trailers that people have been asking AI to do, and it's the most frightening but satisfying shit I've ever seen.
Have you seen the AI Mr. Krabs? We all saw it, right?
Oh my god,
singing Billie Jean.
I'm gonna
Mr.
make
Krabs
a video.
Billie Jean is amazing.
So I've my content is I stopped doing commentary. another thing of when you talk about atoning and all the shit that people want you to do. One thing, this is the last thing, is people would say, well, why don't you make content now swatting down the other side? They're angry. Some people are angry at that. I want to say, to me, I don't expect anybody to do that. I don't give a fuck. If you dipped out, you dipped out. Who gives a shit? You do what you want. You're your own fucking master. Me, I was still making content in the political sphere. That's exactly what I did. And it wasn't to appease anybody. It wasn't to appease anyone. It was literally because these are the guys that are doing the things now that I was bothered with back then. They're literally obsessing over every little dumb fucking thing that you can think of. Buzz Lightyear and a stupid fucking lesbian kid. Go ahead.
When Trump lost the election, I made fun of all the people malding about it because I made fun of all the people malding about the previous one.
Thank you.
And that's
Same.
That's really how I thought about it. And I even opened it with the script is exactly identical.
I remember that. That was brilliant.
I felt really smart. It felt really clever on my part. But it's the same exact thing. And then people got upset about it. And it's like, you didn't get offended 4 years ago.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Yeah, what's the problem? You should be able to take I don't like people who can dish it but can't take it in that sense.
Oh my god, that's the right,
fucking
bro.
That is the right to it fucking T.
That is the
There's a
current
guy
right,
that
bro.
used to run my Discord who I respect. I like this dude. But I haven't talked to him in a couple of years or whatever because I shut down my Discord. We lost contact. Popped up on my feed on Twitter and I was like, oh shit, what's up, And then all of a sudden I was like, oh fuck, this guy's like a fucking Matt Walsh stan and this and all. I was like, what the fuck, dude? How were we homies? And then we lose contact and all of a sudden now you're like, you've literally joined the Sith. Like, what the fuck?
That shit bothered me so much.
How?
Dude. When Breonna Taylor died, right? I just tweeted that the fact that everyone is sucking a cop's dick for killing a person within their home is outrageous. And the amount of people... That's when I almost deleted my Twitter. That was like a moment when I was like, I can't do this. The amount of people that somehow are in my following that think I'm pro-police laws spouting like, well, this person... I was like, how are you here? Have you met me? I've never I was born hating the police probably. I came out the womb not liking them. I'm from New York. Do you understand what it's like? And it just is like how did they find us? I guess we make these dark jokes and they think that haha, it's funny because I'm angsty and I'm edgy. And it's like, no, dude, eat a shotgun barrel. Go put a shotgun barrel down your throat and to the point it touches the bottom of your tummy and then pull the trigger.
Say, this was very cathartic for me. I just gotta say,
it was very nice. It feels good to insult people that are stupid.
I love it. I did my last few videos before I switched completely to. I'm just focusing on music because I just want to grow my music career. But yeah, it felt good. Absolutely trashing these fucking dweebs, like the not the Walking Dead fucking, but it happened with the Walking Dead too. Oh, the gay guys are kissing or whatever the fuck. But the Last of Us and shit. And to the point where I made my thumbnail look exactly like those dopes. That one guy that I really respect, who was actually around in the Atheist 2010 Dark Matter 2525. He thought that I was a part of that, and I was like, my job here is done. Like, because I did the poggers, like, oh, they're gay.
The face.
They're gay, kind of a thing. And I just I watched some of those videos of those fucking people, and I'm like, I can't believe these. I can't. And look, and I want to say this, and then we're moving on. I understand why some of those people are upset because they were adjacent to our content. So those people still exist that are making content right now, manufacturing outrage. They were around when we were around too. They were being more sensible because that was the cool thing to do. But now it's cool to be an extremist piece of shit. So now they're going in that direction. And I understand why they're just mad. Just anyone adjacent to it, they're mad at those fucking people. Fair enough. You don't have to like me or Chris or anybody and stuff. But we're just doing what we're doing. We ain't fucking hurting anybody, especially not intentionally. So fuck off. That's all I say.
Yeah, eat my balls.
Yeah. Oh, moving on. So obviously we got to get to questions. I've been meaning to do this for a minute. There's this dude that's been he's been making some, because my lazy ass hasn't been doing it, but he's making clips for us on Twitter for highlights and shit for the podcast. I just been wanting to give a shout out to this guy, this piece of shit named Shamey McDouchebag, that's just been clipping some
absolutely.
stuff. I just want to say that I appreciate that, like, that, you know, took it upon himself to just, like, hey, help out the podcast. I think that's really fucking cool. And, you know, this bitch-ass nigga deserves a little bit of a shout-out. And so, appreciate you, brother. Go die in a fire.
All right. Let's move on to some questions. Huh? We ready?
Absolutely.
Let's
All
go.
right.
This first one comes from Francesco Ramsey.
Don't go over there, please. I hate that I have to say this constantly. It doesn't matter.
You have to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. Let's see. Oh man, there's so many. Nikki Ziggy wrote in. It's like, Chris no like long queue, so me keep short. This is racism, Nikki Ziggy.
Sounds racist.
This is an offensive way to speak.
Worst
Worst first date locale: mini golf, karaoke. Any bad first date stories? Bye.
Ooh, you said karaoke. I had yeah. Oh my god.
You had a bad karaoke date?
Ooh, so the karaoke wasn't bad, but there was a girl in high school that I guess I didn't realize that she had a crush on me in high school because I was I didn't give a fuck. I would sleep in my English class and stuff and whatever. I would talk to her every once in a while and bug her. And then so we reconnected way outside of high school, you know, 'cause she's like, oh, blah, 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 cool. We started hanging out. She's cool as fuck, man. But I guess she had some problems in her life. We started drinking the sake or the soju, and doing some karaoke, and she just kind of like, I don't know, dude. You know, she kind of, and then she was like, well, I'm sorry, I'm getting the timeline a little bit mixed up. Before she went nuts, there were booths, but there's still people walking by. She was trying to she wanted to bang in the box, and I'm like looking, is there like cameras? I'm like, hey, yo, I don't want to smash in this. That's like people are walking by, the staff.
You gotta do it.
I mean, I did it, of course. It was fucking, but it was awful. It was
You're
awful.
Fucking scumlord. I did it.
It was awful. After all that shit, the vibe was just kind of weird because you could totally, I wasn't so into it, and that's when later, I don't know how much later, because it was a little bit of a blur of the night, but whatever problems she did have, they just unleashed, and then just crying profusely about some shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is wrong? Are you okay? To the point where she boned out, and I'm like, we took an Uber or some shit. I'm like, yo, you can't just walk home. I think she lived a couple miles down the road or something. I'm like, you can't just, what the fuck's happening? She fucking left, and I was like, this is the craziest shit ever. I got an explanation way later. It's just one of those things when some people are having a lot of family problems, work problems, and it just kind of the alcohol gave her the courage to release all that shit, and I happened to be there to catch all of it.
I would have told her, shut the fuck up, bro. I would have been like, yo, shut up, bitch.
Oh, man. Now, to be fair, we're still cool. She's married. She's got another kid, and she's doing well. But, at the time, she was not, and she did not let me know, so that was a fucking disaster.
Tell her shut the fuck up. She starts venting you, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Shut your stupid ass up, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Cut to a clip of Kingston saying, "I don't understand why people think I'm a misogynist."
I don't care about anybody. It has nothing to do with men or women. If I was on a date with a dude and he started venting like that, I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up and finish blowing me, all right?
Sween, you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen, Sween? Someone's going to watch this clip of you, and then immediately they're going to end up on an Andrew Tate video. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Guess what, dog?
The Snark tank to Red Pill? Andrew Tate pipeline.
Yeah.
I don't care, dude. I've been on a bunch of bad dates. I've been on several bad dates, but I'm just like...
Well, specifically first dates, he's asking.
Yeah, first date, a bad, fucking awful first date.
Okay, so
I've never had a bad
multiple.
First date.
I've had multiple.
I've had several. So my first date with a girl. So I've had several, tons. So when I first moved to California, I went on a date with a girl. Was one girl I dated before Lily. I went on a date with her. Right, very cute, very pretty. She's Armenian, but she's from Iran. We went on a date. We were at a party. We were just talking. We went on a date. We ended up going to a party. We were talking to each other, everything like that. And then she brought up that, like, she thought I was really cute, but her parents could never know.
Let's
and I was
go.
just like, and I was just like,
love it.
so I just slept with her, and I was like, I'm going to go home now. That's it. So I got laid, and I was like, I'm just never going to talk to you again. And then she texted me a few times, and I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I don't think my grandmother would accept you. And I just, like, moved her on. It was really petty. I didn't have to tell her that. But it just hurts being told that, because you feel like less than a person. You feel like a hidden dog, you know?
That is a really fucking insane... That is I can't even imagine that. Like, I've never had that experience. The closest I got actually was like when Alex and I were together, and people would like look at us, like, because
So Lily, like Lily, like you, like a bunch of people, you don't notice until you're in that kind of relationship the looks you get.
Yeah, they're like,
it's crazy.
You don't notice it. Lily did not notice. Lillian thought that Mexican people were the most accepting people because one half of her family, her mom, her dad. Listen. Let me explain.
The idea that would be true of anybody. That would be true of like every single group I've ever seen.
She understood that there are racist people, obviously, and understood there are people with bigoted views. But she did not know the problematic nature of fortunately people that are Mexican.
Did she not interact with any other Mexicans and their families?
So
like,
listen. Her dad is from Monrovia, and he grew up around a lot of black people. So his perspective towards that is not that at all. He's very accepting of people of color.
But I mean,
her mom is very nice. She's from Mexico, but she's a very kind person, and all of her family
I get that her immediate family
they don't give
cool.
a fuck about that.
I get that her immediate family is cool, but I mean, like, adjacent. They never...
But what happened was, she has a huge family, and they're all, like, very kind people.
And so they're just all cool? That's awesome.
She did not know, except for her granddad. Her granddad gave me a look. He gave me a look. He saw me. He was
she was just ignorant to the vibes.
No. She's ignorant to the vibes to the degree, because you know when you're not in that, you don't know quite the same way. So what happened is when we were hanging out a lot in Pasadena, and this place where there's like not nice Pasadena, like going towards Altadena and towards Monrovia and shit like that. She started noticing looks. And then she was like, honey, did that person give us a strange look? And I was like, I don't really pay attention to that. And she started noticing it way more. And then she was like, oh no. And I was like, honey, how did you not know this? How did you not like know that? She was like, because I never dated a black person before. You're like one of my first few boyfriends. And I was just like, damn, dude. Well, get ready.
That's crazy.
And then now she argues. And I'm like, honey, don't argue. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
I don't know. Yeah, because like my second relationship was an interracial one, specifically in that sense. And I remember being like, I remember just going places and just seeing just the strange. It's really strange. Like and this was in like 2011, so like
also where we lived too. So you gotta understand, we didn't live in a very. I grew up in an open place. We moved. That's why.
To a very, very unopened place. But yeah, that was so crazy. I forgot about that in some not forget, but like I don't know. It's been so long. But that was
very weird noticing that because
it's even worse when it's like. Look, I'm not going to purport to assume like what the family thought. I know the dad was really cool about it, but like I got vibes from the mom that it was not necessarily all that cool that
not acceptable
that I was white.
It's very funny for me because of the fact that some of my relatives look like Lily, so I was completely dumbfounded. I was like, "What? What's wrong?" Oh,
dude, my relatives look fucking all over the place. Like,
I forgot. I don't look like you, so it's different here.
My family looks
Mexicans all look the same. They don't come in different colors. They're either white or they look like they're either white or they look like Chechens. They don't look like me there. I forgot. Yeah. I'm from a place where there's diversity.
My family looks like a modern day cast for a show that, like it wouldn't pass the pitching stage if that wasn't the cast.
The Jamesons are black. That's
What
it.
do you mean? Yeah.
Like, people that have my last name are black in my family. Everyone else is not. And on my dad's side, most of them are black.
That's interesting.
I've somehow though, like I don't know, even with all that, I don't think I've ever. I don't remember necessarily all my. So I guess there could be one that I don't remember that was so bad that I've just deleted out of my memory. But I think I've had bad first dates. I've had like awkward endings to
Had horrible hookups.
to really good dates. Like I remember the first date I had when I moved out to LA. It was a great date, but I was so scared to like make any kind of move because I was like, I don't feel comfortable making the move, quite frankly. Like I don't. Even though we had like made out at the bar. And
Yeah, it was like
all this stuff, I was like, she was like, hey, can I come over and stay at your place?
Yeah, it was already set up.
I laid there like a fucking mannequin, not doing anything, and we stayed at like opposite ends of the bed, and we went to sleep and woke up because I was like, I can't, I'm too scared. I don't know what it was. I think it was two things. I think it was I'm living on my own for the first time. This is really my first adult experience like this, so that's like weird, but also. I don't want it to be.
I don't want to get in trouble, bro.
Exactly.
That is the reason why I don't hug girls when I'm not in a full room of people. Dude, that shit has molded me into
That's a bit crazy. That's a bit crazy.
Oh no, it's a bit crazy. But I've told you, I've
had this conversation before.
I've had to testify for people.
How
That's
fucking
why
extreme you are about that shit.
I've had to testify for people, so that molded me a lot. It was like, all right. Look, Be careful.
I'm only if there's no, like, Chris, to your point, what the fuck? Like, if there's no clear signal, then I won't go for it. But if there is, I mean, like, what the?
There's so
sometimes
You've got to. I'm sorry. Like, you got to.
It's got to be a blaring signal.
I'll pay for everything.
If y'all are fucking making out, and she's like, "I want to go back to your place," you're good. You're
no, but that's not explicit. Listen, the time period that was. That's the time period.
That's you're being a little.
The time period that was happening in. That's not explicit enough. I remember. Like we got there, and I was like, "Listen, I almost feel like I have to put like a disclaimer. It's like, listen, I'll pay for everything. I'm sorry. You've got to make the move. I'm sorry." Like, just straight up. Like, I'm not, because you have nothing to lose, quite frankly. Like,
so what did you need her to be like, let's have sex, Chris? Like, did you need that? Like,
yes.
Even then, I'd be like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Christopher Raymond
I would ask
Gunther.
again. It would be like closing a program when it's not done rendering. It's like,
will
are you
you
sure?
put thy penis in thy pussy? And then you'd be like, you sure, baby?
Look, man, I don't know. I was.
Yeah, baby.
I was.
Sign this. Sign this fucking
Chris. I understand, man.
release.
I was.
You gotta sign the
always,
release.
You're bold. That's why you're fearless.
I'm not fearless.
Just that person.
I was disappointed one time when I went on dates. I went on 3 dates with this girl. She worked at Disneyland. She got me in. But the thing is, she had this poker face the entire time. So I'm like, I don't get it. Is she just looking for a fucking friend? She was so cold. Even when I try to like get close, try to be like, all right,
yeah.
I'm sending signals that like I'm interested. But she was so like, that was her. I found out in retrospect, she was just like frozen. That's how she's not good at. Even though later on when she's like, we lost contact or whatever, she moved back to up north because she was only here and then she went back to school. She tells me later like, oh man, like I wish we would have like gotten closer. And I'm like, well, bitch, you could have fooled me. Like fucking what the shit?
I remember specifically.
Or the classic happens, right? All the signals sent. Then you present your penis, and they're like, "What's going on?" And you're like, "What? What?"
That's never happened to me.
No, I am so.
It's never happened to me before, but I've heard stories.
Listen. I am so serious about it. I am so serious about it. Like sincerely, like it is something. Like I remember, and I might have told the story before, but like I won't disclose the who's.
You should.
But like I remember going on. A few hangouts with a person, and then that moment on the couch came where like, oh, there's clearly a kiss being set up, and I'm not even fucking kidding you. I sat there still for I think 3.5 hours. I'm not kidding, doing nothing. Like I was like, nope.
My boy.
I can't fucking do it. I can't because if I'm because I'm not confident that I understand how to read those signals.
Hey,
Not
you
at
know
all.
that song?
Because
you know
like
that
the
song,
signals that are, and even
Sorry,
if it seems obvious, that's kind of where my brain goes. Like, well, wouldn't everybody think it's obvious? Like, wouldn't the people who are in trouble think that the signal is obvious? That's why they did it in the first place, and now they're in trouble. And like, no, freeze, stop.
You're a smart man.
Unfortunately, society, has made it that the man's got to make the move. On
The
average,
man no longer has the modern man has no longer has a place in the male society. The
modern man
men
is-
don't know what they need to do, right? That's
have to
why
save
you follow
the
me
West.
as a top G, bro. A man should be doing what he needs to do, right? A woman should be there to cook for him and do.
Hey, before we move on, I was looking for this. I want to show you just a link to the whole Mexican and racism thing. So this is my homie Jesus. He went back to Mexico and he texted me, check out my new mask. And I was like, wow, that's pretty fucked up. Where'd you get that? I got it from a Mexican thrift Halloween store. And if you can see it.
Yep. I was
Oh my god!
I posted this a long time ago. I was at one of Lily's. I was at a carne asada for Lily, right? And everybody was dancing, having fun. And then all of a sudden, there was an image of a clown, but the clown had black paint on his face, and everybody was like laughing, and they saw me look at it, and my jaw dropped, and Lillian cried. Because she never understood it was racist. And then she looked at it and was like, oh my God, her uncle was just like, and turned it off. And all the kids were laughing. And I was like, I was in shock. I was like, what? It's an old video I have.
That's the shit,
I wish I
dude.
could find it. It's
How
like
do
an
you grow
old
up in
video. I looked through
America?
it.
How do you grow up in America and not know that?
Well, because Lillian doesn't, you don't know how, you don't, once things become something that's involved with you, like she didn't care. It was probably like until she realized her kids are probably going to be near that color and have to deal with that shit, a whole different world of understanding stuff opens up to you.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh shit. Like I never had to worry about my kids being Mexican. Now that they're good, my kids are probably going to be Mexican. I'm like, God damn, bro. You got a lot on your plate, bud.
I'm going to have to wear a fucking gas mask when I go to New York.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, right.
The air quality there is so bad because Canada can't get their fucking shit together. All of our problems is because of other fucking. It's all you people, fucking Canadians.
It is other people's faults.
What are you doing? You're like I love that the air quality in New York is bad, not because it's New York, but because Canada. That's fucking crazy, dude. That is
Yeah,
wild.
right?
Yeah, we should stop shipping our jobs overseas as well. Fuck those other countries. We should also stop spending so much money on our stimulus plans in all those countries as well. We should also stop giving them jobs because we can't fix ourselves. Why don't we close ourselves off to the rest of the world for a little bit, just to like relocate our funds to America and then eventually go out there and help them.
Yeah, they're not bringing their best, when they bring
Oh man, did I sound like that? Oh no.
Yeah, I'm supposed to fly tomorrow, but like the air quality here is 413.
Yeah,
I don't know
why
what
don't
that
you
means.
Are you gonna wait?
I already got the ticket, and the whole reason I'm going is for something that's happening
Right.
like on this weekend. So like, I mean, I'm gonna go.
Bring a gas mask.
Yeah, dude, that's funny that you.
That's fucking
Bring
crazy.
one of the Fallout ones.
Apparently,
Like one of
spending
the
20.
regular gas masks.
Apparently,
Hell yeah,
just
dude.
breathing the normal air in New York City right now, like, and I don't know if it's affecting upstate. I would imagine, but
Probably to a degree.
Probably to a degree. But apparently, in New York City right now, if you just breathe the air in New York City for a full 24 hours, it's the equivalent of 6 cigarettes.
Yeah, that's sick. So you might as well start
fucking
smoking
crazy.
then.
I think I'm gonna.
That's
I'll,
sick.
Mexican
Oh,
lollipop.
That is that a Mexican lollipop?
Yeah.
Derek showing a wow, dude. They got no
It's
chill.
crazy.
They don't even have a reason. They don't even have a reason. You know the
They
thing
don't even
is, it's
have
like,
black people there, really.
like no, but like they don't, and also like I mean, they're not the U.S. They don't have that same history.
Yeah, that history.
Like,
Well, no,
why
they,
do
they still have the history of dark means bad, light means good because they were conquered by Europe, and they gave that to
I guess so,
everywhere.
yeah, I guess so. All right,
You know
let's
what's
move on.
crazy? You know what's really fucking weird, right? This is the thing, right? And like,
It's gonna be a long episode, by the way.
I don't believe
yeah.
100%, right?
This is gonna be a long one because we got to get to questions.
That's
Oh, yeah,
true.
yeah, let's do it, let's
I
do
don't
it.
understand I don't know if I believe 100%, but there's tons of so within South America and places like that, well before there was slaves being brought over, which people assume were the first Africans being brought to America. There's a lot of statues that depict travelers coming on boats that have black features. That's why some dumb black people will be like, the first people here were Native American. The Native Americans said there were black people here first. That shit, I don't exactly know if I believe 100%, but there's a lot of claims to that ancient, maybe some sort of ancient Africans that are far more advanced, sailed across the Atlantic over to America as well, which is possible.
It sounds insane.
I don't think so.
How does it sound so insane though?
I don't think
Motherfuckers
so.
built pyramids a long time ago. Like, does that sound?
Yeah, but
First of all,
no,
those
but
were North Africans. It's not sub-Saharan Africans.
Yeah,
No, actually, time out. A lot of the time when the period's being created, there were sub-Saharan Africans up there as well. They existed there as well. They weren't a large minority, and they eventually bred out because of obviously the constant invasions of Northern Africa. That's why Northern Africans don't look black anymore. They look like
they were just all Middle Eastern niggas.
Sub-Saharan Africans were very present in the creation of what became Egypt. Maybe not at the same time as the pyramids.
I mean, whatever.
But they were there.
I'm not gonna argue about this.
Isn't that crazy though? That might be real.
You're getting into conspiracy stuff, but it doesn't matter because it's like. I understand.
What
like,
are
all
they
this
doing
stuff.
here?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. To me, it's like, just don't do blackface. like I don't.
Nah, do it. That's funny.
You don't need.
If it's funny, do it.
You don't need an alternate history to exist for it to not be.
Not
you know what I mean? Like,
it's not an alternate history. It's just an idea that some people may think it's.
Right. No,
it's
I know
a
what
weird
you're saying.
coincidence. Sorry.
I know what you're saying. It's like it's a possibility of history that we don't know. Like, that's totally fine. Like, to me, it's just like that's cool. Don't do blackface still though. like it doesn't really change what we're talking about.
But let's be real.
Always.
That Shirley Temple with blackface is funny as fuck because
That Shirley Temple is
her face. She looked guilty. She knew what she was doing was not okay.
Shirley Temple in blackface looks so. We gotta move on
because she's next to a regular black girl too, and she looks like mom and dad. I don't want to do this. I don't think this is a good idea even back then.
Oh my god.
There's a mole cracker in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits.
Oh no! All right, next. You ain't queued up, man. Next.
I'm sorry. It's the way that people write. It's okay. Dingalo. Roni says, "Good morning, gamers. How did we go from condemning George Lucas and Steven Spielberg for constantly ruining their art with digital enhancements to now being thirsty for that shit every day with games? What do you mean? Like like
digital
enhancements?
enhancements.
Yeah, no,
that
I
isn't the
think,
same thing, even close.
Not the
yeah,
same
I feel
thing.
like
Not the same thing.
I feel like movies. The thing is, games are software, and software objectively has improved like across the board. And so, like, I think there are certain games that I still prefer. Classic. I don't know. The classic Crash Bandicoot games to the remaster, but I prefer the remastered Spyro to the classic Spyros. And so, like, I think there's just more that you can do to transform the experience of a game than you can with like a movie, or specifically
it's not even the same ballpark.
Yeah,
man.
it's just I don't know. Like I think like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 Remake and Resident Evil 4 are vastly different experiences. I think even though they're the same game. Theoretically, those are wildly different. Like, I don't know. I got different feelings from playing both of those games. Like, there's very, very different things going on.
Dude,
and I don't know.
I absolutely have no reason to go back and watch like and play like the old school Resident Evil 4. It's just they did such a good job with the remake, just like with Resident Evil 2 remake. I think they did such a good job where I'm like, I love this. It feels refreshing and it's also familiar, which is nice. It's cool. It like you said, our eyes understand what those shitty polygons look like back in the day. It doesn't look good. Yeah. Unlike when you watch a movie, it wasn't that bad. Like if you watch the Toy Story 1 versus Toy Story 4, it's not just leaps and bounds of a major fucking difference. There are differences, obviously. Like I just did a comparison of Avatar 1 and 2. Just real quick, I want to see what the differences. And I'm like, my eyes can barely tell the fucking difference. And that was fucking how long ago was that?
Yeah, exactly. I think because film is an older medium, they've gotten they've gotten a hang of like you can watch a movie from the 80s and it's still really good. Like there's really no reason to go back and fuck with it. The 90s as well. Like I mean, it varies from movie to movie, obviously, because it's in the same way that it varies from game to game as far as like quality goes. But for the most part, there is a new Spider-Man movie coming out this it's literally a new Spider-Man movie out this weekend as we're speaking. But it doesn't negate, like you can still watch the original, like the first live action Spider-Man movies and still be like, oh, those are really good movies. And they don't replace them in the same way where it's like, I have no fucking reason to play the original Dead Space again. Like there's no fucking reason at all. There's no reason.
For me, the thing is this,
and even
right?
with remakes and stuff like that, where it's like, you look at like something like A Star Is Born, there's probably a good reason. You could come up with a pretty good reason to watch the original Star Is Born. There's a really good reason to watch the original Ghostbusters over the fucking the several new ones that they fucking come out with.
1,000%.
Like, I think there's a drastic difference in what they're trying to do in the sense that like video games in the fucking 90s, look, it's a relatively new medium, relatively new design philosophies. People didn't know what the fuck they were doing for the most part. They were making really cool shit by the seat of their fucking pants. And so
right.
Now that we have a better understanding of this technology and a better way of presenting it, there's reason to go back and, give some of these things a bit of a rework.
Agree.
And I think it's dope. I do think there's some reasons why you might want to play Resident Evil 4 again, like the original over the new one, but I can't think of many personally.
Dialogue reasons only.
Yeah, and even then, it's like, even then, purely out of convenience, it's like, if I could play either of them right now and I had both of them installed, I'd play the new one. Like
1,000%.
1,000%.
And like you were saying, like what would they do, for example, like if they the CGI, like say we talk about the Spider-Mans, the Sam Raimi ones. Technically, I wouldn't mind if all they did was just enhance the CGI. Everything's exactly the same, it just looks modernized. I don't need it though. What I mean is if they made it, I would be like, okay, fine, some people are going to buy it. I think it's useless because I think it's good enough. I understand what time period it's in. It doesn't need to be fucked with. So that's what people had the same arguments when it was like when George Lucas was doing all this shit where it's like, it's good enough. What are you doing? You're actually, it looks kind of shitty now.
You know what's crazy?
Where you don't need to fuck with it. Like
I stand by the belief. I think I would like for them to remake a Star Wars movies, considering how much lore they've added and how much more fleshed out things could be, the better way lightsaber fights could. I would love to see a remake Star Wars,
so you mean
but
like
I know there's no way
remake?
it would be accepted correctly. It would never be accepted right.
Well,
like, no matter how well it was done, even if it was done well, which I doubt it would be done well.
You know how that you can accept it if it's just pure CGI. That's the only way it would work. Like say for example, you did like an animated CG, something where it's just not live action, and so you can actually depict Luke as Luke. Everyone looks the way that they should, but just in their animated version. And then people would be like, this is fucking cool. But it's not trying to be the actual original movie.
Like, Star Wars is such a cool universe. And the first duel with the lightsaber is so stupid.
It's the gayest shit ever, of course.
It's samurai fighting.
It's not. I wouldn't even call it that.
They're
literally just
boring.
They're like thrusting their penises forward. It's just like...
I would
not
love
even
to
samurai
see it.
fighting. I played Ghost of Tsushima. Like, that ain't samurai fighting.
Or
Jin Sakai would fuck them both up, bro.
Jin Sakai would kill both.
You know what was
of
more
them.
entertaining? Did you guys ever play that game? No, I was gonna say
Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade. Like
Yeah.
that was way more
Well, I
entertaining.
know of it. I never played it.
That when you want to talk about remakes, that game as a remake would be phenomenal.
It's definitely due for one.
It would be, and it's one of those games that people I feel like with their dicks would be hard. Like, holy shit, I didn't see this coming, because no one's really asking for it. But I feel like it would. I don't remember who made it, so I don't.
Blade?
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
think it
who
was
made
Firm.
Your guess? I literally have no idea.
Bushido Blade was developed by Square.
Oh,
Square.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes a bit of
Squaresoft.
sense.
Okay.
It was before Square Enix. It was Squaresoft.
Squaresoft.
Okay, Squaresoft.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that game was really fun and remix. So in those, because the mechanics were a little janky.
This would be a really cool.
It would be
really
so.
cool
It would be so cool. So like, so when the original question, it's like, come on, there is a inherent major difference where how the mechanics of something work too when you're playing a game versus just watching something on film. The vast majority of movies don't need to be remade. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Warriors. There is absolutely zero reason to remake that movie.
Oh, yeah, because the Warriors don't have powers and display these insane features and abilities, you know?
Yeah, the thing,
it's like, no, they don't need to remake that.
There are very few movies that that I would argue require remakes, and there are a lot of games that would benefit. Like, I would argue, actually, sincerely, that I don't think I've played a remake that didn't have something positive to add over the original.
Agreed.
Like, I don't, like, at least in the last couple years. Like
name
the last
all
one,
the remakes.
Name all the that's an insane fucking. That's an insane.
You like
demand.
rock music? Name every rock song.
Yeah, I mean, like I think Crash Team Racing was fucking awesome. I think they did a great job with that. The fact that they got the exact gameplay style and they added all the tracks from Nitro Kart with the same game feel of Crash Team Racing, that's dope as hell. That's like way better than the original Crash Team Racing. I would stand by that. The original or the Crash Bandicoot remasters, I thought were really good, even though I have a soft spot for the way that Crash looks when he's like a bunch of triangles. I really like. I think that's great. If I could play that version of the game at 60 frames per second, I'd be really, really happy.
Yeah.
But still, I can't. So I would rather play the new one. So the Spyro remake was great. The Shadow of the Colossus remaster was, is the same game. It just looks better, and I would easily rather play that than the old one because I mean it's the same exact game except it looks better. And the thing is, it's like with movie remakes, they can't really do that. The best you can get is like maybe like a digitally remastered version of a movie, and that's the best comparison point because it's like, oh, it's everything that I loved, but it's clearer now and it's better. But like when you try and like do like a Total Recall or like a RoboCop or like, you do a remake like that, it's like a big reason why a movie is special is not necessarily it extends outside of the film itself in the sense that like the reason the original Ghostbusters, for example, is like really, really good is because it's a lightning in a bottle movie. The concept shouldn't work. The actors like in it are like the perfect actors for the role. Like it's paced really perfectly. It's a good movie. I like the original Ghostbusters. It's silly. It's nonsensical. I don't know what the big fucking deal is about it, to be quite honest. But I don't know why it became a cultural phenomenon. I think it's honestly just the fact that they were shooting lasers and that looked cool.
Yeah,
but there's no reason.
Strange.
I think
but
so.
dude,
In your
even
neighborhood.
but even when they did the sequel, when it was the original guys, that sucked. So like, there's no reason to remake Ghostbusters because you're gonna miss everything. You're gonna miss pretty much everything good about it. Like it's all gone.
I would love to test the theory of a genuine remake, like an idea that probably that they'll never do. But say, you know how they rebooted Mortal Kombat and made that terrible fucking movie with some new guy that no one gave a shit about. I can't for the life of me understand. No Mortal Kombat fan wanted that movie. They wanted something. Maybe, hey, just do a Scorpion arc like you do with the animated shit or something. I wanted them to test like, okay, let's do a live action Mortal Kombat, a complete reboot, and we're gonna get somebody who looks like Liu Kang. We're gonna get someone who looks like, and then I want to test it and see how it tests. Are people? Because in my mind, I might receive that pretty fucking well. To be like, that's cool. Like the choreography is just as cool. It's just as like they just change little things. Like they expand. Like maybe the Liu Kang versus Sub-Zero fight, which is literally 30 seconds, they expand that to like a minute or two or something. I would be like, this is fucking cool because it would be on the level of a Resident Evil 4 remake or something. I want to test it. Maybe I'll watch it and be like, oh, this doesn't work. This is fucking terrible. Never mind. But I'm open to the idea of them trying to do something like that because it frankly hasn't been tried. Like nobody's trying to, let's do the exact thing, almost like we're in a Groundhog's Day except for everything's updated. We're just doing it again. And then, but everything's modernized. The cinematography's better. Fucking Reptile doesn't look like absolute shit, from the 1995 fucking.
Reptile that movie looks so fucking bad.
In fact, you know what I would argue? You know what I would actually argue is that the only remakes that should be allowed as far as films go are remakes of bad movies, which with decent premises. Like the idea of like, oh, that movie had a good idea, but it sucked. Let's and execute it better this time. I don't know what you're doing touching RoboCop and Ghostbusters. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like
nobody,
it's insane. Like,
Stop it, punk.
Those are as good as they can be. Leave them.
It's super bizarre. Super bizarre. Like,
Make
nobody asked for it.
You're gonna make a better The Thing than The Thing? Are you think you really think so?
Yeah,
it's a good movie,
bizarre.
man.
The Thing is insane. And by the way, Keith David, I think, is in The Thing, which is
Yes,
fucking
he is.
crazy,
He
is.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
He survives again too.
Yeah, he does. But
Miraculous.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Keith David, man. Keith motherfucking David.
Like,
Yeah,
what's the worst movie? What's the worst movie you've seen that you? What's the worst movie?
Fuck, that's a hard
I
question.
want to see a good
What's
version
the
of The
worst
Room.
movie?
Like somehow that movie's a good movie. Like
That's funny. I don't know how that would work at all because
like
the
what
only
would it
reason it's
be? Like what
interesting
kind of
is
movie would
because
it be? But it'd be like a good version of it.
That's what I mean. It's like that would be
That's
amazing
interesting.
to see. Or like Cat in the Hat. Let's see how Cat in the Hat.
That movie's not bad though.
No,
That's
but
interesting.
it's not it's not good.
That's it. I like that question though. What is the worst?
Or The
movie?
Last Mimsy, but a good The Last Mimsy.
Fucking Zathura or whatever.
Or Bridge to Terabithia, but it's good.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, let's go to
Yeah,
questions, guys. We only got 2 hours. We gotta blaze through this.
Oh yeah.
We're
let's
not blazing
go.
through this. You guys, no, we gotta.
We gotta
just-
get through this. How about that?
All right. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go.
All right, let's see. A level 1 cleric wrote in. He says, "Greetings, heathens. What is the cringiest thing you've done? I, for one, had a fedora phase, and am eternally grateful that no photos survive to depict that period of my life.
You gotta
Thanks,
have
and
photos,
stay
man.
boneless."
Damn.
I had a skinny jeans phase.
I
gonna say
am
something.
a skinny jeans. I love
I'm gonna
skinny
say
jeans.
something. It's sad what cringe lords did to the fedora because it's kind of a nice looking hat.
It's nice when
Honestly.
you dress appropriately.
That's what I mean. It's like you can't just wear it like a fucking freak to school. But like Michael Jackson with the fedora, it's like it's a fucking iconic look.
It's a
Like,
great hat.
it's
The
crazy
fedora
to
with the
me.
sweater, with the sweater, the fedora with the jean jacket and a red shirt under. That's the combo for the fucking the idiot, the jackass fucking combo. Black
and a-
fedora, blue jean vest,
and a
red
fucking
shirt.
katana. And a katana by their
katana,
side.
yeah. Like,
It's like,
I
damn,
stand,
bro,
I
that's
stand by
really
that. Like,
me.
it's a
That's
nice looking hat,
really
and it's like it's really sad. It's you know what it is? I feel like it's kind of like this is it's not exactly analogous because I don't think the Hitler mustache is particularly good looking, but like, but you know what I mean? How
Chaplin?
like yeah,
You mean the
Chap-
Chaplin.
Like
It's not the
right,
Hitler
right.
mustache, the Chaplin.
That's fair. That's fair. But like to me, it's like that's it. I mean, it's not a good mustache to be fair, but it's not like. I don't think the mustache itself deserves the situation it got, you know?
So true.
Like, that's
Very
pretty
true.
sad for the mustache. And I feel very similarly for the fedora. Like, oh my God, that poor fucking hat. It went from Michael Jackson to, like, a fat atheist with, like, questionable views of consent. Like, that's fucking wild.
Hey, y'all remember
Fall
when
from
Michael
grace if I've
Jordan
ever
tried to
seen one.
bring? You remember Michael Jordan tried to bring back the Hitler stash? Do you guys remember that?
He had it for a bit.
There's like a Haynes commercial where he's in a plane and shit, and he's just
Yeah,
rocking
yeah.
that shit. And people are like, "Yo, what?"
So what, bro?
No, don't get me wrong. I fucking loved it. I
I
was
love
like,
the Chaplin,
"Let's
bro. I'd never
go."
do it. Whenever I shave, you see, I don't have. For some reason, I barely have hair like right here. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
That's one of the last parts to grow in on a male's goatee. That it's so
Like,
thin right there.
I don't really have this, but every time I do have it, I do shave it down, and for like a few moments, I'm like,
just kind of see how it is. Well, why don't those pictures should exist so you can share amongst your peers?
And I start speaking German into the fucking thing, and I'm like, all right, that's enough.
Ich bin ein Rammstein or some shit, and then
I start singing Erica, and I'm like, oh, I gotta stop.
oh god, yeah,
yeah,
enough
that's-
of that shit. Enough of
It's
that
a
shit.
good song, man.
Cringe. So this guy had the fedora phase. I feel like I don't know, man. I just remember looking really stupid because for a long time I couldn't grow any facial hair at all. So I just looked like a dumb baby, and I would wear a lot of like big beanies, like hanging off my head. I just there's pictures of me probably a couple years outside of high school where I'm like, I look so fucking stupid. But it wasn't like a particular phase or anything. I just think that I just didn't. I looked soft, and I hated that. I'm like, okay, at least I have some sort of facial hair, I guess. And but I was also I wasn't nearly as muscular around that time either.
I
That
look
was
soft.
I was a soft motherfucker, dude. I was a baby.
What
as
about
fuck.
you?
I
What
hated
about you,
that
Chris?
shit.
I had skinny jeans, man. I had a lot of skinny jeans.
I love skinny jeans, dude. But I also have big thighs. I like to show them off, you know.
I have big thighs too. I'm a big creature in general, so the skinny jeans were a problem for me because they'd get on. I'd have to if I wanted to be sweaty, I'd have to literally peel them off of me.
Feel them. You gotta get them. Man, mine are elastic. They've always been like fucking moving them and shit. You know.
When I take them off, it would sound like somebody's tearing off a part of drywall. It'd be insane, like
so stupid.
like someone's opening a yogurt. It's just tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's any single like I am very, very cognizant of my entire life up until this point because, you know, I've been on YouTube for so long that I can go back to 2007 and see what the stuff that I was saying. So like,
True.
I'm very cognizant of the fact that like everything is. You are living right now in an era of pre-realization cringe. Like that's where you exist because in 5 years, at all times, in 5 years, you will look back to that exact moment, to this exact moment. You don't think anything is cringe about it, but it will be cringe in the future. Like it will. Like I don't know why or how, but it is. It always is true, and I think I'm very, very cognizant of it because I have this unique kind of like almost timeline where I can visibly watch my mannerisms and the way that I interact. It's not like pictures on Facebook where it's like, oh, well, I have my pictures from all the way from, 2006 to now. And it's like, it's different, man. It's different to have videos and videos of you like stating your opinion. Like there are videos of me like reviewing video games when I was like fucking 11. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. I look at him like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know anything about this at all.
Bitch.
You're just trying to sound. You're just trying to sound like you know what you're talking about by talking about like fucking engines. You don't know what an engine is. I barely kind of understand what an engine is now. Like I sort of get it.
Like the Cowboys.
I feel that. I feel that. It's this. You have the same contempt for like the way that. People do when they hear kids talking when they're playing like when they're when they're playing multiplayer. They start saying something, maybe even trying to add to the strategy. Like, shut the fuck up! You don't know shit, little punk.
Dude,
like.
it's so insane how instantly mad you get at toddlers trying to give you advice. It's like, hey, guys, shut your stupid little ass. You're dumb and small.
It is really immediate.
You don't know shit.
They might even be saying something good, and you're just like, shut your fucking bitch ass up.
Shut your stupid little mouth, you stupid little human.
Don't let anything get you down. It's like, you understand I saw 9/11? You don't
even know what fear is yet.
You don't know.
Imagine being really scared of your mom not being there. That's what I was.
Yeah. Imagine like you can't even imagine feeling like a plane might hit you and have that be like a genuine fear for like a solid day and a half. Like you don't know what that's like. Shut the fuck up, kid. God damn.
I never had that either, really, and I was there as well.
Dude, I was concerned. I was really fucking. I thought it was a movie at first because I saw it online or not online. I saw it on the TV and I was like, this can't be real. That looks like a fucking action movie. Like, there's no way this is fucking real. And it is. And then they were like making calls about how like, we don't know how many more there. We don't know if there's going to be more or not. It's like, holy fuck. It's crazy.
Shit.
I
remember that.
Jason Bourne didn't stop that one, though.
Yeah,
Jason Bourne. Yeah, it was his cousin. His cousin was on the job. It was adjacent Bourne. And he's just sort of
adjacent to Bourne.
He's adjacent to Jason Bourne.
Next question. Jesus Christ.
Jesus
so Christ.
Stupid.
Hey. Jesus Christ. It's adjacent Bourne.
Adjacent Bourne.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. Oh, that's a classic.
I got reminded
Jesus
by
Christ,
it because my gym was playing the Bourne Identity in that cinema room.
Did you think
I was thinking about Jesus Christ.
You saw the Bourne Identity. You saw the Bourne Identity playing in your gym, and you were like, "Jesus Christ, it's Jason!"
It's Jason by literally.
Oh, that's so classic.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Stain Jenkins wrote in. He says, "What's poppin'? I know you guys are pretty internet poisoned, but do y'all have any favorite national/state parks, wildlife areas count? Thanks. P.S. It's pronounced Stain Jenkins." I think I got that right, my friend.
What's the national park?
I don't really fuck with national parks, unfortunately.
I haven't been at many. I've been to a few in New York.
Yeah,
I guess Claremont Park, not Claremont, Tremont or Claremont Park in the Bronx. Place is fire. It's a huge open area where people really bring their kids and just run around and play football and tag and shit.
I mean, it's I know I've been to places that are prettier and like I spent like a week in Portland, Oregon, and I remember that being like a really, really nice place in general. The whole area feels like a park. But I mean, the only real answer to that I would have is Central Park, because it's where I spent the most time as far as like a national park goes. Like, I haven't really been to many out here, if any. Like, I do want to go to Joshua Tree.
Oh, I've been to Joshua Tree. Never mind. That place is really cool too.
I haven't been to Joshua Tree. I would like to, but you know, I only have experience with Central Park, and I love filming and doing dumb shit in Central Park. But that's it.
I feel you.
I would love to hit all the national parks. I haven't really been to any that I can remember. But I will say there's this cool park in the center of South Central LA where, you know, it's just all a bunch of just poison, and then this like nice little beacon of hope, I guess, called Kenneth Hahn, where it was pretty nice. You know, lots of ponds and stuff, and they kept it up pretty well. Some hiking trails and shit in the center of it all. So it was kind of cool to just go there. I would sometimes ride my bike there. During the pandemic, I would always run over there, and it's just funny, just because if you've been to LA, some of the you know, famous South Central parts, you're like, damn, this shit. Because like you always got to think about this. No city has ever started off looking this way. So you got to think, like, everything at one point looked brand new and clean.
That's
and you're
true.
Just like, damn.
And once upon a time, every place was a nice place.
What happened? It's
happened?
There's just heaps of trash everywhere, and insane white people walking amongst like just a bunch of black folk, and I'm always like afraid of those guys. The guys with white, they're in their shirts off, and I'm like, oh shit, like don't even get near that guy, because he's just like unafraid of anything and just in the most like, you know, like harsh living conditions. He's absorbed every trash heap, so he's completely immune to anything. And I'm like, yo,
harmed, bro. You need a magic weapon to kill him.
He's got a thin layer of armor, like, that you can't perceive.
Legit. And but yeah, Kenneth Hahn's dope. I want to go. I want to go to all those Yellowstone. I'm afraid if I go to Yellowstone, it's gonna like erupt as soon as I go.
That's the day it erupts. The day your dumbass there. You did this, Derek.
That's an awesome fear to have. I love that. It's like, I don't want to go to Yellowstone on the off chance it's the day.
Hey, no joke. I have a little bit of a small fear about Hawaii about that too. I'm gonna go to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. No, I would never
and then
go
the one
I
time I go, the fucking one of their main volcanoes erupts.
One of the main islands blows up. Not even a volcano. The island blows up.
I don't have a fear of volcanoes on Hawaii, but what I do have a fear is being on an island when a random tsunami hits. And so like I feel like I would end up. And by the way, I get proven right constantly. When we moved to New York, or not when we moved to Burbank and the mountains were on fire, I was like, God damn, what a day for this to happen. And even right now, I'm flying to New York. First time I've flown to New York since last year, and it's the air is fucked. Like,
it's you, bro.
It's you.
Yeah, it is me. And that's why, like, everybody's like, that's why everybody's like, why don't you come out? It's like, you don't understand. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Yeah, you'll have a great time. I'll hate it because something's going to happen that specifically affects me and probably a lot of people. So, like, I don't want to go to Hawaii because I know it. So we're going to be like, let's go July 7th to Hawaii. Let's do it. All right. We'll buy our tickets now. We'll plan. We'll take people will take off from their jobs or whatever. It's like, yeah, sick. July 7th. We'll go to fucking Hawaii. July 5th rolls around, and then it starts. Weather's a little weird. It's like, all right, no big deal. And then we land, and then like fucking stage 10,000 hurricane immediately, like out of nowhere. Like it would just happen. It would just happen because it's like, you're here now. You're here. You're the instigator. We got you. I am the main character of the universe, and nothing can happen without me.
There's a hurricane the size of Europe. It's
a hurricane. It's a hurricane the size of me. The size of me, but it's real strong and small, and it's going around and it's looking for me. And I'm going to have to hide from this fucking tiny hurricane, and everyone else is going to be having a great time except me.
Looking for you.
You imagine being stalked by a hurricane?
A tiny hurricane.
What's the next question?
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
Gray Ghost
one.
wrote in. No, it's not last one. We got at least 2 more.
What?
Gray Ghost. We got to.
Okay,
We got to. We got to make up. What is it? Gray Ghost. What's up, lesbian, gay, and bisexual? Chris has talked about wanting to do a documentary-style video before the pandemic. If you were given a large budget, what documentary would you all want to do together as the Snark Tank? Oh, man.
Well, you guys know my answer. Yeah. I was like, you guys, Ethan Ralph documentary. That's what I want to do.
Quick math.
Oh, my God.
Quick maths.
Quick math. Yeah. Ethan Ralph. The
God,
Snark Tank documentary.
I would love that
That's
so
all.
much.
I've come. The man questioned wrote in. He said, "You get the power to change one person's race. Who do you use this power on?"
Ooh,
you only have it. You only have it once. You can only use it once.
Who's I
would turn Jay-Z white just to see what he looks like. Like what the fuck he looks like.
Like he still has Jay-Z. The same features, or just like straight up like albino Jay-Z, or are we talking like straight up European white? Because I like albino Jay-Z to be pretty funny actually. He's all blonde and shit.
I would make Kingston Swedish.
Why would you do that to
man.
me?
Because it's the only, like, what am I gonna get out of, like, I don't know, what am I gonna do? Like, make Zendaya Puerto Rican? Like, big fucking deal. Like, that doesn't do anything for me.
She might as well
like,
be fucking Puerto Rican, man. Yeah.
It's not gonna do anything for me. Like, turning some random celebrity that I don't know into some other race, it's like, that'll be fun for everybody for, like, maybe like a week. Knowing the shit that happens now, like, on a weekly basis, people will forget, oh, Jay-Z's white? Weird. For 3 days, people will meme about it, and then it'll be gone. Like no one will. Everybody will be like, "Oh yeah, that's white Jay-Z."
I want two things to happen.
Like everybody knows. I would make Kingston Swedish because I know he would have the hardest time dealing with it, and I would get to see it every week. Every week when we do the show.
Why would you like that?
Because it's something. I get something out of it. Like you'll be fine eventually. You'll
No,
probably
I
even learn.
won't.
I think what's scary about it is what scares you about it is like you'll probably learn to like it. You'll be like,
No,
you
that's
know
what makes it the most terrifying. I don't want to be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person. That made me so mad.
I definitely would.
The way I speak as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person, I would get killed.
Check your Spotify and it's all changed to like Aaron Carter and
yeah, and ABBA.
There's already Aaron Carter
It's all
in there,
ABBA
bro.
and shit.
Aaron Carter.
That there shouldn't
Bunch
be.
of Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I just want ABBA, nothing but ABBA.
Rest in peace, Jesse McCartney or whatever.
But he didn't die. Oh, but that was me. That's crazy that was me, bro.
That wasn't you. That was Charlie.
I think I said it and Charlie heard me say it and he said it too.
That's funny.
Because I said it really loud and I think Charlie heard me say it.
Why would you
and
say
he
rest in
repeated
peace,
it.
Jesse McCartney?
Because I thought he died. It was Eric Carter. But I thought he died.
They are kind of the same.
Wait, Eric Carter's dead?
Aaron Carter died.
Yes.
Wait, he actually died?
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Dead.
I forgot. I thought something happened. I forgot actually.
No, he
forgot.
died. He died on the same day as Dr. Drew.
No, he did not. Shut the fuck up. He's actually dead, though. He's actually fucking dead.
I remember. I forgot that really. I thought he had like something crazy happen, but I thought. Yeah. Oh
do
shit.
we know what's
yeah.
happening with?
Wow,
do we know what's
that was
happening
late last year. Holy shit.
Do you know what's happening with Jamie Foxx? By the way, like what the fuck is going on? Is he?
Oh, he had a fucking stroke.
Is he all right? Like what's going on?
I don't know if he's gonna make a full recovery. I didn't get any information. But yeah, that's
Probably
crazy.
makes it.
Did you ever see that video
better.
of? Did you ever see that video of Jamie Foxx ruining that comedian's life on stage at like a roast?
No, what do you do?
Dude, I wish I could remember exactly. Let me look at it. There's a video of Jamie Foxx. Like I guess he's like at this roast. I don't remember who the roast is for, but like some comedian goes up and he's bombing on stage, and Jamie Foxx, as one of the comedians, is heckling him. Like, he's heckling this dude, and he's floundering. It's real bad. Like, it's one of the most cruel things I've ever seen. Like, it's uncomfortable to watch.
Well,
like, because it's like
Jamie Foxx is really fucking funny.
Yeah, it is like he's objectively saving the set. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's making a really bad set funny, but it's also so mean.
It's at the expense of someone else.
It's at the expense of somebody who's like in such a bad spot, and it's really fucking it's good. It's a good video.
Oh fucking hell, dude! People are.
What?
Wow, how funny is this article? Dr. Drew's mentioned in this article. How funny is this? So first of all, apparently he's learning to walk again, so it was really bad.
Wow, Jesus fucking Christ.
And then apparently also he's become the figurehead of the anti-vax movement because people are saying, oh, it was COVID related. So they're using him. They're propping him up to see what happened. Never. Not once. Not one.
Remember they were using videos of people like having seizures in like 2012 as examples of like why the COVID vaccine
so
is fucking
beautiful.
It's
beautiful, man.
I'm so tired.
So
I like how it's the vaccines.
Fighting.
I like how it's the vaccines and not the fact that there's like microplastic in our rain.
Yeah, that we're all
like,
we're
like
constantly breathing in plastic.
Yeah, that we're constantly breathing in. I like how it's like, oh yeah, the air quality in New York is the quality, like right now is the quality of like fucking 6 cigarettes. But it's probably the vaccine.
It's probably
the vaccine. Yeah. Jesus Christ! Everything from the end of time is going to be the vaccine now. If you got into a car crash, it's because your bones were weakened to the point where you now were susceptible to dying in a car crash because the vaccine stole fucking health from your bones or something. Everything is going to be vaccine shit. For like
I'm at the point where I think I would actually just like jump somebody in public if they were blaming something on the vaccine. If I heard, I'm kind of at that point where I'll clothesline them, just a straight lariat.
Some people got.
I'm like, dude, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to hear it anymore.
I don't feel that, but I do feel a sense of like
it isn't rage.
The next time you like, if I see you bumping off a car and hitting a lamppost and like wailing on the ground and like I'm gonna be like, why didn't you get vaccinated, idiot? Like, because it makes about as much sense to me. So it's oh, somebody shot your kneecap off and now you're crippled for life. Why didn't you get the vaccine, idiot?
You dumb bitch.
It's so sad. It's a sad place. We'll go one more.
Let's do it. One more.
Because I was just thinking of someone getting hit by a car for some reason.
Yeah, I like how that makes you laugh. You're such a fucking deranged person.
I'm not deranged, bro. That's funny.
Yeah, Mr. Live Leak.
I miss Live
What
Leak.
the fuck is this? Average Clit Energy wrote in. He says, who are each of your favorite content creators who cover for Chris video games, for Derek music, and for Kingston comic books? It's actually a good question.
Oh, easy. My favorite content creator is Comics Explained.
Comics Explained for comics?
Yeah, easily.
Derek, do you watch music?
Nigga. Yeah, I do. There's a producer named Rick Beato. This guy's a fucking genius. Like, perfect pitch genius guy that you'll learn so much just by watching his videos because he's like, he knows too much. It kind of upsets me how much he knows. Like, he'll hear and he automatically knows exactly what note it is. Oh, it's this sus 7 over this. And I'm like, what the fuck even is that? I barely know A, G, something, D, or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
G, U.
A, something, there's an E somewhere. I think there might be a 7 in a major. This guy just, he's brilliant. I hate his sideburns. He looks fucking stupid. He has sideburns. Like, nobody should have sideburns anymore. But other than that, guy's legit.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah.
Don't have sideburns anymore.
I
shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I watch Digital Foundry a lot because I just think that stuff's kind of like soothing and like weirdly interesting. But I think Skill Up is the person that I watch the most. He like posts a lot. He has generally respectable takes. He's a Destiny guy that helps. Like, he's got really good reviews on Destiny stuff that I mostly agree with. Sometimes I don't, but like I like him. I've spoken with him a couple times. He's very chill. And And
Hey guys, I gotta check the door real
that's
quick.
really-
Someone keeps doing.
Don't worry.
I'll be right
about it.
back. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go get it. But yeah, I think that's it. There's somebody asked a question specifically for. Oh, this is last one for both of us.
Okay, what's up?
She sells seashells by the seashore, and he sells seashores. She sells on the seafloor. Wrote in. He says, "Hello, gents. Quick question. Chris and Sween are both Destiny vets like me. What class is superior, and why is Hunter not it?"
Stupid question. The Hunter is superior class. It's the best.
Unfortunately, the Warlock is the best class.
They're not.
That is, I hate Warlocks, but like they're playing on fucking easy mode, dude. They got a heal
They're
button.
not
They
the
got a
best
fucking.
class, dude.
They are the best because it's the easiest.
I think the best class is Hunter, but I think the easiest class to use is the Titan. I think the Warlock has the most weird shit in it.
I don't think the Titan's the easiest to use.
Now? I think it is.
I think the Titan is the most intuitive in the sense that I think honestly the only hard thing about the Warlock is that fucking jump. That jump is so awkward, but the second you get past the jump, everything about that class is like overpowered as hell. Like you steal health from enemies, you got a fucking well that keeps you fucking invulnerable. It's insane. They're pretty much integral. They are integral to like every single like boss encounter ever because you need that radiance.
Wow.
And you need those wells. I don't know, like they are the best class because they've just been given the most to do. But I would say Hunter is the most. I don't know. Hunter is the easiest for me to use personally, like because it's the most translated from other shooters. It's like straight up double jump, or like straight up, you're a precision gunslinger person, whatever.
Yeah, you roll like that. But I think I personally think, but I think it varies based on which one you play. Like I play a little bit of all of them. I mostly main Hunter.
I don't play it. I don't play any of them anymore. Like I tried to play all of them, but it's just like I don't have enough time in the day.
I don't play Destiny anymore in general right now. I'm not really playing Destiny right now.
No?
Nah, I've been more focused on Street Fighter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Trying to make it to gold, and I feel like I'm gonna kill myself before I do that, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, I got to. I have to.
Don't play ranked on that game.
No, I'm not. I don't play Street Fighter Online. I play it purely against. I don't care to be. I don't have enough faith. The thing with fighting games is I've never had a good experience playing online. Fidelity wise, like I always feel like there's some fucking lag or something that I don't feel in like shooters and other games, and it makes it just not fun to me because I always feel like, fuck, something. It just didn't even care that I did that. But anyway, that's it. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Oh, Derek's dead.
Derek's gone. So we'll wait silently for him to return.
Such a dumb existence.
Shh. I said we're going to silently wait. I hear you clicking. Stop. Shh. Be quiet. I don't think he's coming back. I'm going to read the names.
Okay.
Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
The UNSC Pillar of Autism. Tinfoil Tyrant. The athletic cup that all the Spider-Men share. Putting blackface on my light bulbs. Chris's singular sperm that gapes his urethra every time he comes. I vomit on myself to become a portable slip and slide. Can you... The prospect of someone fleeing from the police and like seeing a downhill slope, deciding to vomit on themselves and then just throw themselves on the ground to slide is amazing. That is amazing.
That's disgusting.
That is beautiful. That is fucking wonderful.
Next name. Ew.
All right. A naked Dennis Prager bare knuckle boxing an angry panda bear in front of a live studio audience. Florida felon femboy on death row. Derek some white guy. Doc Jenkins and the Tism Schism. My son just turned 3, so I've been wondering how young is too young to start calling. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm not finishing that one. Not with the eyes on me now. She pipkin on my pippa. Possum. Yes, that's my real name. Estoy ansioso de veras? What the fuck is this?
Estoy?
Para llegar
Ansioso.
pronto a su casa?
I don't
Para
know what that
sacarme
means.
la verga y que me dé unas mamadas?
We're not fluent here, right?
Yeah, I've never even heard.
You're wasting
most
your
of these
time.
words.
I don't know most of these words. Right? My girlfriend translates most things for me. I can speak basic conversational Spanish. That's it.
Let me translate this real quick. Because I am curious.
Oh God.
They almost got you, huh?
I'm anxious.
Close. It's close.
It says I'm anxious. You should get home soon to get my dick out and give me some blowjobs. So that
that a
explains
name?
why I don't know it, because I learned Spanish from my family, who was certainly not discussing blowjobs.
I walked
Anyway.
at a weird time.
Yeah, piss bed. Damo Nation, average clip energy. Jared from Subway has a cameo in Sharknado 2. That's awesome.
Also, he's a
see
cameo
that?
in a Superman comic. Yeah.
Wait, who?
Jared Fogle has a cameo in Superman?
Yeah, that's a Justice League comic. He's in it. It's Jared
Did you
Fogle.
see
fucking-
the change.org to make him the spokesperson again?
What?
And like it's like legit, like nobody's like just struck it down or anything.
It's cancel culture. It's cancel culture. Why are you fucking? What's wrong? If you
what's wrong with that?
James Gunn made offensive tweets and you rehired him, why did you fire Jared Fogle for simply being a pedophile once for a long time, many times?
Amen. Preach.
Whoa.
There's a movie about
Whoa.
Jared. There's a movie about Jared that just came out like recently, like in the last
really?
week. Yeah, there's like some.
I want to watch
can't-
it. Like
Yeah,
like a
we're-
movie or documentary.
I think it's a documentary, but I'm gonna do a double feature tonight. I'm gonna see Across the Spider-Verse and then Jared.
Yeah, that's insane. That's
I don't know.
insane.
Should I start with Jared?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
His
All right.
name is Jared. Dun, 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 dun. He likes to
He
touch
sings a blues
kids.
song.
Dun, dun, dun.
I remember a popular joke. A popular joke with me and my friends at the time was that he lost all the weight chasing kids.
Yeah.
Star
His
Coffee,
name is Jared. Fuck.
Sween, and Ray Gun for president 2024. No. Absolutely not.
Not yet.
I want no part of that world, quite frankly.
Not yet.
Well, it's a TV
soon,
series.
Did you fucking Cornel West fucking running for president?
Yeah,
And
what
he's
the
like-
fuck, dude?
And he's running with like he's like I don't know, man.
the
not
People's
great.
Party or some bullshit or something.
Yeah,
what he was
third
saying?
parties
I
don't
was like,
work.
this-
Third
I was
parties.
like, what are you
I
doing?
wish third party worked. I wish they did, but they don't.
They don't. Unfortunately, not.
It's sad.
Not
They
in
should.
America.
It
In a
just
good-
draws votes away from the main parties because we're too stupid to fucking actually do a third party.
It's fucking nuts. But anyway, let's Star Coffee, Sween Reagan for president 2020. Lindsey Graham's Little Ladybugs. I'm white, but my dad left. Do I get a pass now? Now suing Sween because apparently the pass isn't valid in Brooklyn. Transfemme Gremlin. Ken Logan Paul abandoned a million pigs. My sexual awakening was the quirky goth from NCIS, and now my taste in women is ruined. Yush, the angelic dungeon master, who would like to congratulate you for saving the microwave baby by shoving the horse off the bridge.
Nice.
Did you end the last episode with the horse?
I didn't put the horse in. I
Okay,
didn't,
good.
Yeah, I actually I was going to, but then I was just like, this is
Then somebody pushed you in a lake. And you couldn't do it.
I got pushed into a lake and I got stiff and I couldn't do anything. I just fell in. Yeah.
Psy from Gangnam Style claims we are not unarmed. Korea got a bomb.
I know that
the US
one.
could become a target.
That's Opa
You know what I'm
goddamn
saying?
style.
That's
CS,
so stupid.
I think CS188 or whatever. He's a YouTube content
more
creator. Fucking brilliant, brilliant.
Craig the Canadian,
Brilliant
it's your
fucking
boy
YouTuber.
Shawnee D, Southern Sweet Tea. Matt Walsh is the hero of our time. Sweet Baby Gang for Life. Indie Butter Knife on YouTube.com. What is with these homies dissing my girl? Anal Rage Party.
do.
Finding out Chris Chan's Sonichu necklace works the same way as Thor's hammer. Slurping, stroking, smoking, joking. Emoticons going like this. Morning Owlet, Sheeny Tai. Drip MH, Lord of Drip. Nancy Pelosi killing a Palestinian with her massive tits. Obi, won't you blow me? Sween, you have something between your teeth. Kremlin to Gremlin, can't stop. Addicted to this big bic. Like the pen?
Big.
Abby. Something funny and topical. Gay Sunday voice, chocolate queer. Gagging is all you can hear. It's so bad. It's not good. Listen.
Yeah.
I know you already know this because
ain't no pain.
Chocolate gay.
Ain't no
I
pain.
love guys, and my ass is agaped. I am gay.
I am.
I like when men start to fuck my face. I am gay. Penis in my mouth is really great. Anus pain.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about the gays? I was thinking about this kind of like when we were writing the extra ammo. There's an extra ammo episode of us writing like a gay sex anthem for Under the Sea, but in Little Mermaid. And I was thinking about it. And it's funny because I was thinking like, why is it so funny just because it's gay? Because would it be funny if it was straight? And
Not at all.
And the reality is like, a lot of songs just are that but straight. Like there's so many songs like, I like the pussy in my face. Let me come in that. And like that's like a lot of the lyrics. Like sincerely for like a lot of like fucking blurred lines and shit. Like, so I think I don't know. It's so funny that's it.
But also, it's funny because there is a sector, there is a subgroup in the gay community that is that. If you go clubbing
gays,
in WeHo, you can find that. Like, one of my homies I grew up with, he moved to West Hollywood for a reason. And that motherfucker had a good time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's kind of, like, funny in that lens where you're kind of just writing a song that's, like, some dude's fucking Saturday night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you ever think Come Resurrection? That's his name. I feel gay. Fuck
cool.
you. The Papini Brothers Emporium presents the latest in cuck technology, Sneakovision, Good Fight, Chris, Spaceballs, The Patron. Having autism is like getting your stats min-maxed.
Stupid.
It is kind of accurate. It's like, man, you're really good at counting, but you can't keep eye contact, can you?
You're really
tell
good.
him Steve
You're really good
Dave.
at remembering things, but you can't remember. You can't.
I think I have the
concentration.
opposite of autism in the sense that like I don't have a high stat in anything. I'm just here.
Yeah, you got lotism.
I got lotism. That's good. I like that. Limp Biscuits and Gravy. John Strickland. I am announcing it right now. Our next parody is F Slurs in Paris. Mercs 1889. The absolute dog shit Aquafina song. That absolute dog shit song Aquafina sings to wake Ariel up.
It's terrible,
bad.
dog.
It's pretty fucking shit.
It's terrible.
I haven't heard it.
It's not. It doesn't even sound like a song, really. It just was that Lin-Manuel Miranda?
And what I wrote the song?
Yeah, because it sounds like a Lin-Manuel Miranda song. But like the thing that confuses me about it is Lin-Manuel Miranda like can write good songs. So like I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the hell that song was.
It was just bad. It was bad. It was bad. Those movies are bad. That movie's bad. It's bad. I hate it. I hate it so much. The fact that I had to sit through that movie made me so upset.
Is it Lin-Manuel? Who will? Oh, okay. Aquafina raps a scuttlebutt. Who will hold Lin-Manuel Miranda accountable for this? It's now a thing as part of our.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, I know what you're talking
the
about.
Little Mermaid,
the rapping.
Scuttlebutt. On it, Aquafina sings, squawks. Scuttlebutt C-Rap, who is urgently reporting the gossip that Ursula is apparently Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the lyrics. Not that you need to tell us. Not that you need us to tell you that. You can hear his unmistakable flow when Aquafina delivers bars like, "Okay, now huddle up, Buttercup." Yeah. It's. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's. I look. I like Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay, like In the Heights is awesome, and I thought Hamilton was
Freestyle
cool.
Love Unity, bro.
Freestyle Love Supreme.
Supreme.
Freestyle Love Supreme.
Freestyle Love Unity is a group.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Puerto Rican national treasure in that sense. Like we like him. He make no mistake, he's annoying. It's annoying to see him kind of everywhere. Like that's true, but I respect
because he's the Puerto Rican. He's an approachable Puerto Rican. That's why.
Yeah, he's the only guy. But like this is bad. Like it's bad. Like, it's. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it as a hater. I just it's not good. Anyway, the First Church of Keith David featuring Liquid Sween and his undying love for the gays. All my exes live in Texas, and Texas is a place I dearly love to be.
Oh, nice, George Strait.
Pre-Roz. Blake 896.
Should be a wow. Sorry.
What?
George Strait, all my exes live in Texas. How would you make that gay? His name would just be George Gay, and
so
all my I love that. I love the idea.
I can't go down this road.
Yeah,
Cami vagina scented candles.
How can you make that gay?
Cami vagina scented candles.
I don't know
how much.
My ass is be a blasting.
How much are these candles? And how many can I? How can I get them in bulk?
They're $50 a pop.
Easy. I'll get fucking
easy.
pop.
I'll buy 5.
I'll buy 50. I'll buy 50 of these things. Keep me on my fucking toes.
Fair play.
9/11 theme.
I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say something wild.
Yeah,
9/11
theme. 9/11 themed baby shower. It's twins. Alaskan oil field trash. Sue Hulk. Tickle my ass hairs. Nikki Ziggy. Marcus chainsawing through a locust while autistically screaming, "Dom, I am a surgeon." That name doesn't change, but I picture it every time. And it's really fucking funny. Lobotomized Jesus can't wait to lick Hulk Hogan's slop wet fat fucking pussy like a dog in a water bowl. The sounds of mommy and daddy fighting downstairs, but it's drowned out by Derek and Sween's slang argument. Every time I come, it sounds like Squidward walking. Jackson DuPont, badly brave. Hugger Derek, the rhythm of Bulls on Parade. Come on Command. Aetherian, Progerian Hunter, Melvis One, heir to the throne of Haphazard, and rounding out our list as always.
The king
of Haphazard himself.
George Gay.
That's it. You got a 2.5 hour episode.
One.
I think you got a beefy one. I think you got a pretty good one.
Beef.
Next episode's 45 minutes.
Next episode is just the credits.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
All my gay exes live in Texas.